Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Jasson Dominguez began the Yankees' West Coast swing with 3 big swings as the Bombers kicked off the series with a rout. Today, Carlos Rodon rides a wave of momentum back to the bump as he looks to stretch the team's winning streak to 4 games. Let's get you ready as the New York Yankees take on the Athletics on a Saturday afternoon at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, California. That is very specific. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Chris Sheeran. Yankees made themselves right at home in the A's new digs in Sacramento. Will Warren took a scoreless outing into the 8th in the best start of his career, and the offense had some extra pop, or rather, some extra terrestrial pop. Jasson Dominguez, the Yankees' 22-year-old rookie outfielder, blasted off for 3 home runs. It all started with a solo shot in the 3rd inning to go back-to-back with Paul Goldschmidt, who continues to rake. In the 7th, Dominguez spun around to the other side for another solo homer. And then he saved his biggest blow for the knockout. A grand slam in the 8th off a nearly 98-mile-an-hour fastball that put the Yankees up 10-0. Over his last 10 games, the Martians batting .290 with an OPS over 1,000. Dominguez became the youngest Yankee to have 3-homer game, taking that title away from Joe DiMaggio. He was the 6th Bomber to have a grand slam as part of the feat, and the slam was also the first of his career. He's the first Yankee to go deep from both sides of the plate in the same game since Neil Walker back in 2018. Here's Dominguez on his big night.
Tonight was special. I mean, I get a homer from the right side. My first grand slam, my 50 homer games. Today was a really special night that I will remember.
What's a game like this do for your confidence? People have been waiting for games like this for a long time, and you've had a lot of good moments. When you have a breakout night like this, what does that do for you?
I mean, anytime you have a game like that, for sure, it's a boost of confidence, like going through.
Could you ever imagine doubling your production like that? You came in here with 3 home runs, and tonight you doubled it to 6 and 19 RBIs.
Not really. When I hit the third one, I was running. I was just telling myself, like, no way, there's no way. But I mean, I had a really good game.
On to today's game, where we've got a matchup of southpaws for the Athletics. It's former Yankee J.P. Sears, who's off to a nice start at 4-2 with a sub-3 earned run average. And for the Yankees, Carlos Rodon has a .296 ERA and is holding hitters to a .151 average, and he's been on a roll, to say the least. The big lefty is coming off a gem against the San Diego Padres on Monday when he fired 6 2/3 innings of scoreless ball. He scattered 3 hits, all of which were singles, walked 1 and fanned 5, though he ultimately walked away with a no decision. That opponent batting average is the best in the majors by more than 20 points. And keep an eye on the slider. Batters are hitting under 100 against that pitch. Rodon has not allowed an earned run in 3 of his last 4 starts, and that's good for a .70 ERA over that stretch. He's completed at least 6 innings each time out. He surrendered just 1 home run, and he's even cutting down on the free passes. 4 walks to 20 strikeouts across his last 3 outings. As for the lefty on the other side, J.P. Sears, he's allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 7 of his starts, including 6 1/3 innings of 2-run ball last time out against the Marlins. Sears was part of the trade for Frankie Montas in 2022. And among AL pitchers this season, he ranks 6th in strikeout to walk ratio and 12th in opponent OPS. Plus, he's also done a much better job of keeping the ball in the park. However, his former team hasn't been too kind to Sears. He's 0-4 in 5 starts against the Bombers with an ERA near 6.5. He faced them twice last year. Coincidentally, they were 2 Sears versus Rodon matchups, and he had one good outing of 6 scoreless innings and one not so good of 6 runs in 5 innings. This has been quite a turn through the rotation for the Yankees. Over the last 4 games, their starters have posted an ERA of 1.33, and each has completed at least 6 innings. Carlos Rodon sparked this run with his latest gem, and earlier, Aaron Boone talked about what's made the lefty particularly good recently.
I think he's been in the strike zone better. Stuff's been excellent all year. I feel like he's thrown the ball really well all year, striking a lot of guys out. But I think in the last few, he's kind of limited the free passes and then kept the ball in the ballpark. And when you're pitching with the kind of stuff he is and getting the kind of swing and miss he is, that sets you up for success.
What do you think the thing you'll remember most about what Dominguez did last night down the road? Is it the at-bat quality, the one right-handed? What's your biggest takeaway that you think you'll keep from this game?
I mean, the breaking ball right-handed, I mean, that ball was covered. That really jumped out, like how hard he hit that ball to basically almost straightaway center, like a line drive that you knew off the bat was like, where's that landed? So that'll stand out. And then I just kind of, picture the two, one changeup, one fastball, kind of very similar trajectories on the left-handed one. So, and then just his wry little smile that, when he comes back in.
You talk about his makeup in addition to the talent. How much do you think that has helped his growth? A lot of kids who get $5 million at 16 years old, it can get their head. Maybe you don't work quite as hard, but everybody talks about how hard he works and what a good kid he is. And does that have something to do with the growth?
I think so. He's a great kid. Like, he's got a really good perspective. Like, it's not life and death, and so he's interacts really well with his teammates. You always see him. He's got a little smile on his face, works really hard. Obviously, he's got a lot of talent. But I think the perspective he has, like, you never really know if he's going through a tough little stretch or he hits 3 home runs yesterday. He's just kind of the same person every day, and that's one of the things I love about him.
Aaron, you kind of joked the other day, it seems like we see Sears every time we see the A's. Just what have you learned as a team about trying to get to him and attack him?
Yeah. He's got that good fastball that plays up that'll pitch at the top of the zone. Kind of a couple different slider versions, sweepers, some are bigger. He's got the changeup that'll use a little bit too. So, he's kind of got that delivery that allows that fastball to play up a little bit. So hopefully, some of the familiarity we have with some of our guys will serve us well.
Here's the A's lineup that Boone and the Yankees will face, and rookie Jacob Wilson leads off and plays short. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night, and he's second to Aaron Judge in batting average and hits this season. Among major league hitters, only San Diego's Luis Arraez is more difficult to strike out. And for the Yankees, Jason Dominguez is back in there after his historic night, batting 7th and playing left. Paul Goldschmidt leads off, and his batting average is up to .345 after his 17th multi-hit game of the year yesterday, while Austin Wells gets back behind the plate and Ben Rice gets the day off. We are just getting started on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up, Meredith Marakovitz catches up with Luis Severino before he gets the ball for the A's tomorrow. Stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today. Last night, the Bombers erupted for 10 runs for the 7th time this season. That's the most in the American League, and it's just 1 game behind the Chicago Cubs for the most in the majors. It's good to have you with us here on Yankees Batting Practice today, presented by Audi. Luis Severino just turned 31 this past February. He was signed by the Yankees 14 years ago as a 17-year-old amateur out of the Dominican Republic. This past offseason, after a year with the Mets, he signed a 2-year contract with the A's, and tomorrow he will face the Bombers for the first time. And for our quote of the day, courtesy of Toyota, our Meredith Marakovitz caught up with them yesterday.
Luis, on Sunday, you'll have the opportunity to face your former team. How much are you looking forward to getting out there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, face, familiar faces. I grew up watching and playing with them. I think it's going to be fun, I just need to go out there, enjoy myself, and try to have fun.
As you look at that lineup, I'm sure there's one guy that concerns you more than others, and that's Aaron Judge. How do you wrap your head around what he's been doing to start the season?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I feel like every year he gets better and better. Usually the first month is the worst one for him, and he's hitting 400, so it's going to be really tough to face him on Sunday. I will do my best to try and to not, keep out of the bases.
How much time do you spend trying to figure out how to attack him?
There is nothing that you can do. You just go out there and whatever you feel is going to work, just throw out there. I think there is not much to look around. He can hit everything, and he can hit everything hard. So for him, you just go out there and try to compete against him. What
impressed you about him as a teammate when you guys were teammates?
Yeah, for me, one of my favorite guys that I play with, he's just always the same guy. When he's homer, when he's 0 for 4, he's always trying to help everybody. When we win a game, it's like, doesn't matter if he got a base hit or a homer. It doesn't matter for him. It's just everything's all winning. I love that about him.
Well, you're no longer over there, but there are a lot of former New York Yankees in that clubhouse. I look at your corner. It's almost like the Yankee corner. Andahar next to you. Then you have Gio Urshela. How much of a hand did Andahar play in getting you here with the A's?
Yeah, when they talk to me about, coming here, I call him and we talk about how was the atmosphere here, the clubhouse, how was the manager and everything. And he told me great things about it. He told me he kind of remind him of, when he was called out 2018 for him. And I like that, and then I talked to actually Sean Manaea. Also told me great things about, the guys that play here. So it was really fun.
Now, J.P. Sears starting on Saturday. He's also in that clubhouse. You didn't invite him over to the Yankees corner?
No, he didn't want to come. But hopefully, by the end of the year, he'll be there.
Overall, how would you evaluate your year so far? How are you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling healthy, trying just to go out there and compete every time they give me the ball, trying just to give 6 innings and give my team opportunity to win. I feel like, I need to stuff that I can have to work on, like, trying to limit walks. And after that, I think everything else is good.
A lot of guys in that clubhouse are very young. How seriously do you take the leadership role?
For me, being a leader is just going out there and competing. Every time they give me the ball, go out there and just be available for anything they need. There's a lot of young guys and a lot of guys who came from the Yankees here. So Walter Shock is here. Also, what's his name? Can't remember the name right now, but there's a lot of other guys out there came from the Yankees and just talk about me of how, I was coming from there to here and how was everything different, and I'm trying just to tell them about stuff that they can control, stuff that they can do to, make a better routine and be a better, player.
What's it been like playing here in Sacramento?
It's a little tough, It's not the same as a big league stadium. You have to just get adjust of, the clubhouse is in the left field line, and you don't have that chance to just go inside after an inning. So it's a little tough, and the ball one day is flying, one day is not flying. It's just you have to know, like how you're going to attack the hitters, if their wing is going to the left field line or right field line. But at the end, this is what we have, and we have to go out there and compete.
How much do you miss the New York media? Just kidding. Luis, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Severino won 54 games during his time in pinstripes, always posting solid strikeout-to-walk ratios. He made 2 All-Star teams and earned Cy Young votes twice, including 2017 when he finished third after going 14-6 with a 2.98 ERA. Let's step aside again on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Still ahead, it's a new edition of Jack's Packs. You won't want to miss it. It's straight ahead right here on Yes. Hey, take a deep dive into the Yankees minor leagues with Conversations, a homegrown podcast with Connor Foley. The latest episode features AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre manager Shelley Duncan, and it's available now on the Gotham Sports app. Quick check of some MLB news and notes, and we start with some drama in Boston. Rafael Devers met with Red Sox ownership after he took issue with the organization, suggesting he changed positions again. The Pirates relieved manager Derek Shelton of his duties, with Don Kelly taking over in the interim. And Twin starter Chris Paddock took a perfect game into the 6th last night in a win over the Giants. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Now, as we know, our Jack Curry has countless stories to tell from his career covering baseball. So we're letting the cards decide which one we hear next. It's time for the latest edition of Jack's Packs.
Hey everyone, Jack Curry here, and it's time for another edition of Jack's Packs. As always, I'm going to open a pack of baseball cards, and I promise you that with somewhere in this pack, we're going to talk about one of these players, and I'm going to tell you an interesting story about that player. So because this pack is from 1989, we've got some gum, people. If you want to email me or send me a DM, I'll send you that gum because I am not touching it. So let's see what we have here. We're going to start off with Vince Coleman, a very good ball player, excellent base stealer. Jerry Royce, a pitcher. We've got Gary Carter, Hall of Famer. That's a pretty cool card. We've got Jack McDowell in a White Sox uniform, but he was also a former Yankee. Monty Farris of the Rangers. Alan Trammell, another Hall of Famer. That's an all-star card for him. We've got Deion James in a Braves card. He also was a Yankee. We've got Willie Ainsley, Jack Clark, another Yankee, Jim Gantner of the Brewers, Moose Stubing of the Angels, Brian Downing of the Angels, Randy St. Clair, Les Straker, Rick Mailer. Despite having the likes of Gary Carter in this pack, I'm going to tell a Deion James story, and it's actually more of a Jack Curry story. I hurt my ankle playing basketball one spring training, and it was about the size of a watermelon. Susan Waldman, who you all know, was doing radio for the Yankees then and is doing radio for the Yankees now, said, you need to go see Gene Monahan, the trainer. I did not want to do that. I believed in a separation between covering the team and ever walking in the trainer's room. Susan said something. Gene Monahan brings me in and says, get on the table. Starts looking at my ankle, treating the ankle. Deion James walks in, and Deion James said, Gino, my arm is hurting. He was a lefty. He said, I really need a rub down. And I was getting ready to jump off the table and leave. And Gino said, can't you see I got a man on the table? And Deion James walked out. I was puzzled, perplexed, aghast, but Gene Monahan gave me ample treatment and made sure I was okay. And then he brought Deion James in. I don't think I've ever said sorry to Deion. Deion, I'm sorry.
Jack also hit 3 home runs later that day. He left that part of the story out. Deion James spent parts of 11 seasons in the majors, playing with Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Cleveland before finishing up with the Yanks. He was a career .288 hitter, and he suited up for the Yanks in the 1995 American League Division Series against the Mariners, going 1 for 12 with a walk. One last break on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll wrap things up next, so stick around on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees put up 14 hits last night, and they lead the American League with a .260 batting average. And with J.P. Sears on the mound today, it's worth noting that the Bombers have been even better against southpaws. They lead the majors with a .287 average and a .901 OPS off lefties. The injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. After back-to-back rainouts in Scranton, the Electric City, DJ LeMahieu is set to play his 8th rehab game today, and it remains a possibility that he could rejoin the Yankees on this road trip. Aaron Judge came just shy of homering in his homecoming last night, and he settled for a double and his 6th intentional walk of the year. The captain has an OPS over 1,800 against left-handed pitching this season, and he's homered off J.P. Sears before. So is there more home cooking in his future? We'll soon find out. As for some other keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers, Paul Goldschmidt has 3 home runs in his last 8 games, including one last night that helped the Yankees win their 8th game by at least 5 runs. For the A's, it's been a good stretch for Miguel Andujar. And in a matchup of something's gotta give, J.P. Sears has the 4th lowest walk rate in the AL, while Yankees hitters own the 3rd highest in the majors. After today, there's one more game in Sacramento against the A's, with Sunday's coverage beginning at 3 o'clock here on Yes with BPTV. Following that, the West Coast trip continues north to Seattle for 3 games against the Mariners before a day off sets up the first Subway Series matchup of the season. That's going to do it for us here on Yankees Batting Practice today. Coming up next, it's the pregame show. Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, and Meredith Marakovitz keep you going before the 2nd of 3 against the A's.
Jason Dominguez had 2 home runs when he left on this cross-country trip, and then he struck gold in California. 3 homers in the series opener, including a grand slam. At 22 years old, he became the youngest slugger to accomplish the feat in Yankees history. Meanwhile, youth also served up a gem on the mound as Will Warren continued a dominant stretch by the starting rotation. What's in store for Game 2? We find out shortly as the New York Yankees take on the Athletics on a Saturday at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, California. And we hope you're having a great day as we welcome you to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty with you. Middle game of this 3-game series, coming off a game on a Friday night, which the Yankees had everything going. Impressive offense, impressive pitching by Will Warren. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
You know, Bob, there are some times during a championship season that as a ball club you have to enjoy the ride. The Yankees now have won 3 games in a row. We talked about the 2 comeback victories against the Padres. And to your point, last night, the Yankees played one of their best all-around games. Jason Dominguez had 3 home runs. The Yankees had 4 total. 14 hits, 10 runs, and then you talk to the pitching staff. Will Warren had his best game as a major league pitcher, 7 1/3. So many things to like. You enjoy the ride right now, and you look forward to this afternoon. The Yankees sent Carlos Rodon out on the mound, their 2nd best starting pitcher. There's a lot to like if you're a Yankee fan right now.
Well, let's enjoy the ride out to West Sacramento right now. Meredith Marakovitz standing by with the Clubhouse Report presented by your local Ford stores. And when it comes to the lineup today and what Jason Dominguez accomplished last night, you can enjoy the ride, you can ride the wave, whatever it is. They wanted him back in there, and he's in that lineup today.
He is indeed. He'll be playing left field. But, Bob, I had to love it after the game last night when he was asked in the clubhouse whether or not he had hit 3 home runs in a game at any level. He just smiled and said, yeah, when I was playing PlayStation, MLB The Show, and they asked, who were you when you were playing? And he smiled again and said, I was me. So apparently he did it in MLB The Show. Last night he made it a reality. And after the game, there were parts of it that perhaps he couldn't even believe that he was able to hit 3 in a game.
It was awesome. That last homer, it feels almost the day that I made my debut. It feels the same. It was awesome.
First career grand slam. Did you walk up after hitting your first 2 thinking, I have one more in me here with the bases loaded?
I'm not gonna lie. When I hit the ball in the 3rd one, I just say, no way. There's no way. It was awesome.
Very impressive. Yeah, I mean, just really, really quality at bats by him, and you know, he's capable of things like that. Obviously, the 2 lefty, kind of similar, you know, high, kind of moonshot, no doubters, and the right-handed ball was absolutely scorched. So just a lot of good at-bats from everyone really in the lineup, and highlighted by what a night by Jason.
It's not the first time I've seen you hit one right-handed, one left-handed in a game. That's awesome. It's always been there. Hopefully, he had the spark tonight and, continues with it.
That was incredible, just even going back to spring training. Guy goes out there, wins a job. The work I saw him put in on the backfields when no one was really looking on the defensive side, to the work in the cage, and then to see him, have a game like this tonight, 3 homers, it's just special. I think you see the excitement of everybody in the dugout on each homer, and happy for him. He's going to have a fantastic year, and this is another special night that we got to watch.
And high praise from the captain, Aaron Judge, when it comes to Jason Dominguez. A lot of firsts for him last night. Also made a little bit of history. Youngest Yankee all time with 3 home runs in a game. Not to mention, it was his first Grand Slam. First time a New York Yankee hit one from the right side and the left side since Neil Walker back in 2018. It was also his first home run from the right side. Incredible evening for Jason Dominguez. Let's not forget also, he drove in 7. So, Bob, as we already noted, Aaron Boone wanting that bat in the lineup. He will play left field. It'll be Trent Grisham in center again. Cody Bellinger is back in the lineup. He wants to get in on the offensive action. He'll play right field, and Aaron Judge DHs this afternoon. Let's turn our attention to the pitching matchup. It is going to be former Yankee J.P. Sears on the mound for the Athletics. As for the Yankees, it'll be Carlos Rodon. The Yankees are pretty familiar with J.P. Sears. As Aaron Boone has joked, it seems like every time they play the A's, it's J.P. Sears on the mound at some point in time during that series, and the Yankees have had some success. What to expect from Sears? Fastball has a little bit of ride at the end of it, also throws a sweeper and his changeup a little bit. I spoke to Sears yesterday in that A's clubhouse, and he said he credits the Yankees a lot for building the foundation. It was here when he got to the A's that he was able to continue to grow as a pitcher on the mound. He feels as though he has much more confidence, and he is a much bit better and different pitcher than he was when he was with the Yankees. Meanwhile, Carlos Rodon has been rolling his last 4 starts, pitching to a sub-1 ERA. He struck out 29 batters over his last 4. His batting average against is 151. That is the best in all of Major League Baseball. I asked Aaron Boone what's been the common thread when it comes to Carlos Rodon over his last handful of starts.
I think he's been in the strike zone better. Stuff's been excellent all year. I feel like he's thrown the ball really well all year, striking a lot of guys out. But I think in the last few, he's kind of limited the free passes and then kept the ball in the ballpark. And when you're pitching with the kind of stuff he is and getting the kind of swing and miss he is, that sets you up for success.
And Carlos Rodon is going to be throwing to Austin Wells this afternoon. As expected, he is back in the lineup. Aaron Boone said he would be yesterday. And guys, hang with me here. There's a few degrees of separation, but we'll eventually get there. Austin Wells on the Yankees. Well, Tyler Soderstrom is on the A's, star hitter for them. Well, his brother Tate went to school at Arizona with Austin Wells, so they know each other very, very well. Well, they had a father that played in the majors, and that is Steve Soderstrom. He pitched 3 games for the Giants back in 1996, and back on September 17th of 1996, he made one of those 3 starts. He lasted just 2/3 of an inning in that one, gave up 5 runs, 2 earned runs. He also hit a batter. Bob, do you have any idea who that batter was?
Well,
I'll tell you.
Pretty good idea, but go ahead. Yep.
Sitting next to you, John Flaherty. I'm sure you probably don't remember it, Flash, like you remember your walk-off hit in 2004 against the Red Sox. But, hey, cut a girl some slack. We just want you to know we're thinking of you.
Thank you, Meredith. You brought back a painful memory, which I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Meredith. Can we get a baseball to the set so I can hit Flash again before we go to break? Anyway, Meredith, have a great day. We'll see you with Justin and and Nelly in just a bit. Now, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. 4 outfielders and 4 good outfielders for 3 spots. Coming up next on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we'll talk about the Yankees' good problem of fitting in Grisham, Dominguez, and Bellinger alongside Aaron Judge. So keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It is time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. And the Bombers aced their first test against the A's last night. For a same-game parlay, let's go with Jason Dominguez to drive in a run, Trent Grisham to record at least 2 total bases, and Carlos Rodon to strike out 6 or more. That parlay would hit at plus 635. Right now, new customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup courtesy of Toyota. Yankees coming off a game in which they scored in double digits for the 7th time this season. Jason Dominguez, his 3 homers last night, youngest ever in Yankees history to do that. He also had 7 runs batted in. As he went 3 for 4, Paul Goldschmidt went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and RBI. He's batting .345 in that leadoff spot today. And then Aaron Judge dipped under 400 to .396 with a 1 for 4 performance. Now, Judge is in there. Bellinger's in there. Grisham and Dominguez all in there. So this is that wonderful dream for a manager to have. This, what you see, Flash, is a nightmare for opposing pitchers to have all of these guys playing so well. What do you think about the way Boone has been able to rotate these guys in and out?
Well, I think it goes to the lineup against a left-handed pitcher today in J.P. Sears, and I think Aaron Boone is in that office working with Brad Ausmus, I'm sure talking about it last night into this morning on how they wanted to go with the outfield setup. You have Dominguez in left, you have Grisham in center, Bellinger in right. Aaron Judge gets a half a day off as the DH, and Ben Rice is the left-hander that's going to sit on the bench. But a few things are coming into play here. Jason Dominguez, the night that he had last night, the home run from the right side, and his improved defense in the left field is making it a whole lot easier for Aaron Boone to say, you know what, you're going to get a start against a left-handed starting pitcher. I trust your defense out in left field. And then obviously getting Bellinger back in the lineup today, had the night off last night, a .346 hitter against left-handed pitching.
So it's interesting, Dominguez will bat right-handed, obviously getting that rep, and we were kind of marveling at the right-handed home run last night. But then after that, you kind of also said, well, don't forget about the third one because he turned around 99 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, everything that he did last night, and he talked about it to Meredith and the media after the game, what a special night. But when you watch this swing from the left side, that was off a changeup, and you see the bat speed flying through the zone. This is the swing that everybody's talking about, and rightfully so, Bob. When we watch that swing from the side, he didn't have any drift forward like he did earlier from the right side. But this is impressive. 98 miles an hour, the grand slam into the bullpen and right center field. An historic night for him. And we talked about it on our post-game show last night. Was it one game where he had a great game, or was it something that he can build on now, especially hitting against the left-handed starter from the right side? He's got to come back this afternoon and give a couple of quality at-bats as a right-handed hitter. The switch hitter in the lineup is so important for Aaron Boone, because all season long we've been watching teams try to attack the Yankees with left-handed pitching. They've answered that challenge, and another way they can answer it to the next level is Dominguez hitting from the right side.
You could certainly make the case Bellinger has some questions still to answer. The bat's been coming around, though. His last 13, 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Is he starting to turn a corner?
3 home runs in his last 8 games, and I go to the batting average against left-handed pitching of .346. That's what I'm going to hang my hat on. And when we watch his swing, it's unorthodox. unorthodox, right, Bob? I mean, he's straight up and down. He doesn't have a whole lot of movement. And I think there were some times early on with maybe a little bit of a back issue where he was falling off to the right side of the field to the Yankee dugout side at home. He's not doing that now. That swing right there, everything moving right back to the pitcher, driving the ball the other way. To get on top of a high heater is impressive, to do that with his hands. But again, I go back to the 346 against left-handed pitching. It forces you as a left-handed hitter to stay in there and drive the ball up the middle. If there's one thing Bellinger's had a problem with this year, it's been falling off the ball a little bit to the right side. So I think facing a lefty in J.P. Sears today, again, keeps him on the baseball middle of the field the other way.
He might go after a sweeper that goes away. Sears has been pretty good so far, a sub-2 ERA over his last 4.
I've always liked J.P. Sears when he was a Yankee prospect coming up through the system, got his feet wet in the major leagues, but he's having a nice year with that 2.93 ERA. And the one thing about him, when you look at his stuff, his fastball 92-93, but he hides it well, Bob, and he kind of shoots it up in the zone, so he gets a little more swings and misses at it, although it doesn't have the high velocity. You mentioned the sweeper, throwing it a lot more. He's not walking hitters as much as he has in the past, so the Yankees are going to have to be ready early in the count. Not great numbers against the Yankees, but he's done a better job keeping the ball in the ballpark this year. We know the Yankees, with their 4 home runs last night, a big part of their game. That's going to be the cat and mouse. Can he keep the ball in the ballpark this afternoon?
Well, let's step aside again here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. But coming up next, we'll break down what's been going right for Carlos Rodon over this dominant stretch of starts, as well as what the Southpaw can expect today against the A's. So stick around.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm News 12 meteorologist Mike Rizzo with your game day forecast here in Sacramento. Conditions are going to get real warm here at the stadium. The sun is going to be shining at 1 o'clock at first pitch. We got 76 degrees, 7th inning stretch, though. 85. It's going to be a spicy forecast for today, a spicy game experience. At least the humidity is down low, but still stay hydrated, especially on that ride home, as temperatures push into the 90s. Enjoy the game.
Mike, thank you. I wonder whose offense will be spicy. Yankees want it spicier. Here's the A's lineup that's going up against Carlos Rodon. It's courtesy of Toyota. And Jacob Wilson, the rookie, he's out to a great start. 354 average and his 52 hits. Second in the American League only to Aaron Judge. Nick Kurtz had 2 of the A's 7 hits. The lineup only drew 1 walk in the opener, by the way. Then small sample size against Rodon, but Miguel Andujar 4 of 9 with a homer, and Luis Urias 3 for 5. Let's go back to Rodon's last outing. Facing a Padres that has a beast of a lineup at times, he held them scoreless over 6 2/3.
Yeah, Bob, and you can see by this camera shot here, it was a miserable night at the stadium to pitch, but what the numbers, 6 2/3, 1 walk and 5 strikeouts, Carlos Rodon didn't think it was miserable at all. He gutted through this outing. He's been on a heater his last 4, and the big reason why, he's been filling up the strike zone, and he's been getting swings and misses with that nasty slider.
Last 4, a batting average against him, 126. And in 8 starts this season, he's first in opponent average at 151. And he's top 5 in innings, strikeouts, and opponent average. And the one thing we saw in that video against the Padres, that slider is so effective against both left-handers and right-handers. It's like they can't figure out what's coming.
Yeah, the batting average against the slider, 0.98. But you look at the overall batting average right there, 151, first in the league. And the one thing for Carlos Rodon, if we think about from a few years ago, he was a 2-pitch pitcher. High fastball, low slider. If you were a hitter, you would just take your chances on looking for the fastball up or the slider down. Now you cannot do that. The curveball is a weapon. The changeup is a weapon. So now the end result is he's getting swings and misses on that slider at an alarming rate, because if you're a hitter, especially a righty, you have to control 4 pitches in the strike zone. High fastball, fastball, curveball down and away, changeup down and away, and then if you're looking for that, the slider, you have no chance right now the way Carlos Rodon is throwing the baseball.
The way he's throwing the slider, too, it's like he's not just throwing it up there, he's spotting it exactly where he wants. I know there is a big difference, especially when it comes to if you were catching him and where you're setting up.
You know, Bob, we remember a few years ago, I would classify him as a Yankee thrower.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, he's pitching with his slider. This right here is an executed pitch that nobody in the league is going to be able to put the bat on the baseball. You can see Austin Wells and his reaction. Manny Machado, the swing and a miss at a slider that he took a little bit of velocity off. And here's the backdoor slider. All to your point, Bob, he's not just throwing it up there and hoping for the best. He's locating it down and in. He's able to backdoor it to a righty. He's able to add and subtract with his velocity. And right now, Aaron Boone has talked about Carlos Rodon and the process and the work he's putting in between starts. It seems like he builds up to his start, goes out there and dominates for about 7 innings, and then is already looking forward to what do I have to do after the game to get ready for my next start.
We've got to take one last break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, but when we come back, we'll get Flash's key to the game, so stay with us on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
The Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Let's check our Morgan & Morgan injury report where we see DJ LeMahieu possibly rejoining the Yankees on the current road trip in Seattle. He's got rehab games today and tomorrow, and so far it's been very good at double and AAA, 9 for 19 with a double, a homer, and 3 runs batted in. All right, before we get you out to West Sacramento for today's game 2, let's get your key to the game.
My key to the game is Paul Goldschmidt is going to be leading off for the Yankees. He's going to be facing J.P. Sears, a left-handed pitcher. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to right away. After what the Yankees did last night, putting 10 runs up on the board, I love Goldschmidt against Sears. 3 for 4 in his career, Bob. I know it's not a large sample size, but 3 hits. One of those hits is a home run. And if you look at the 4 home runs for Goldschmidt this year, 3 of them have come against left-handed pitching. So Paul Goldschmidt is my key to the game. He's also my pick to click this afternoon.
Ooh,
my spicy pick to click.
Oh, gets even better. Thanks for joining us on what turned out to be a very spicy pregame show. We're going to get you out to Sacramento after this. Justin Shackle, Jeff Nelson with the call, Meredith Marakovich reporting. We'll see you on what is sure to be a spicy postgame show. Enjoy the ball game.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Says farm to fork on the water tower in Sacramento, but the Yankees spent Friday night putting bat to ball in the series opener against the A's, including a big 3 home run performance from Jason Dominguez, and now they will go for a quick series win over the Athletics as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees and the Athletics in the middle game of this 3-game set from Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome into Yankees baseball on Yes, along with Jeff Nelson. I'm Justin Shackle. Yankees explode for a 10-2 victory to start their West Coast trip last night, and the Martian is right in the middle of it all.
Well, it was my favorite Martian last night. You were probably too young to remember that show. But last night, he was incredible. A career game, a historical game. This was in the 3rd inning. If you're a pitcher with a 3-pitch mix, well, that's what he hit. Change up in his first home run, that breaking ball, his second home run. And then to top it off, a grand slam off the fastball. 7 RBIs last night, 3 big home runs. Outstanding job by Dominguez.
Yeah, Yankee Clipper move over. The Martian has made landing in the Yankee record books. He becomes the youngest Yankee player to ever hit 3 home runs in a game at 22 years and 91 days old. The Yankees also received really nice starting pitching from Will Warren last night. They're going to try and continue that trend with a guy who has been in a groove for the last 4 starts or so in lefty Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, and that's speaking lightly. He's been incredible. 4 quality starts, all going 6+. He's done a lot with the fastball command, pounding it in the zone, eliminating a lot of walks, a lot of pitches per at-bat, a lot of pitches per inning. That changeup has been outstanding. It's a pitch he's used this year more than last year. 57 strikeouts are tied for 6th in MLB.
He's cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. 3-0 record, 0.70 ERA over those last 4 starts. Carlos Rodon leads the majors in opponents' batting average, but it's even lower here over this 4-start stretch. Hey, Cody Bellinger's back in the lineup. He's hitting cleanup. Belly and the Yankees come to bat. First pitch when we come back. It's the Yankees and the A's on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by the Chili's 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. By your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Yankees and Athletics getting set to go in the middle game of this 3-game set. A beautiful and hot Saturday afternoon in West Sacramento, California. There you see downtown Sacramento over the right field foul pole. And let's take a look at the Yankee lineup here on this Saturday afternoon. Paul Goldschmidt in the leadoff spot following last night's 2-hit performance. Trent Grisham in center field. Aaron Judge is DHing. That means Cody Bellinger is in right field. Volpe at short. Wells doing the catching. Dominguez in left. Pablo Reyes and Oswald Peraza getting the starts at second and third base, respectively.
Well, J.P. Sears taking him out his 8th start. You see the numbers on the year. Really good year for Sears. And let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report on Sears. Elevated fastballs. He likes to climb the ladder. 92, 93, not overpowering, but that plays really well up in the zone. He changes the eye level with the sweeper, slider, and changeup. His home and away splits. Here at home, a 5 ERA compared to a 2.32 ERA on the road.
Time to play here in Sacramento as the first pitch to Goldschmidt is outside. We're underway. Sears, 29 years of age. Yankees won at 10-2 last night. They've won 3 in a row. Goldschmidt started the scoring with his 4th home run of the season. He sends it in the air to right field. Playable for Brent Rooker out there in right today. And there's one away. Let's take a look at the Yankees, or the A's defense rather, as we take a look at that outfield alignment from right to left. Different than last night. Rooker, Butler, Soderstrom, Kurtz at first, Arias at second, Wilson at short, Miguel Andujar at third base. Johnny Pereda doing the catching with Shea Langoliers as the DH. J.P. Sears made his big league debut as a Yankee, traded to the A's. Looking for his first win against his former team in now 6 starts as Trent Grisham takes a look at strike 1.
Yeah, not a lot of great numbers from Sears in those 5 starts. A 6.49 ERA, 7 home runs that he's given up against the Yankees.
Grisham went 0 for 4 last night. Had a hit taken away from him in the 6th inning. It was initially ruled a hit, then an error on the second baseman, Arias. Sears faced the Yankees twice last year, and both came against Carlos Rodon. The last one on September 21st at the Coliseum. Gave up 6 runs in 5 innings of work. He was part of the deal that brought Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino to the Yankees in 2022.
Well, he wanted that 4-seamer away. And you look at it just off the plate. Plate umpire David Rackley. Sears turned around. He said, all right, throw that around. Nope, not so fast.
2-2 to Grisham. Swings through a sweeper, and Sears has his first strikeout victim. 2 away. Taking a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, over the last 3 games, great starts and getting deep into the game. So you have a rested Penn today. High skies. This park will play a little bit differently in the day. Infielders, outfielders really got to keep the eye on the ball. They'll lose it in that sky and keep the momentum going. Real good job against the Padres, winning 2 out of 3 and then opening up in the West Coast, on the West Coast last night. Outstanding win.
Here's Aaron Judge. Had a double, scored a run in last night's win. Laser to pitch off the wall in left field in the first inning last night. Sears is 1-0. And you see the pink hitting clip. Little Mother's Day preview for Aaron Judge. Pink gloves, pink cleats, pink shin guard.
Mother's Day, make it last all weekend, right? It's not just one day.
Absolutely. I remember last year.
365.
Yeah, Aaron was wearing Mother's Day cleats every now and then throughout the summer. There were the cleats with the roses on them. They were really sharp.
Superstition, maybe? You do well in some cleats, you got to keep it going.
It's like bubblegum pink. One, 2. Judge has homered off Sears. He has great numbers against the A's. 41 career games, including the postseason. .307 hitter. And 14 homers for the captain. 2-2 pitch. He swung through the 4-seamer from Sears. J.P. Sears retires the Yankees in order to start today's game. A's coming to bat for the first time this afternoon. Let's take a look at the Athletics batting order as they come up to hit for the first time against Carlos Rodon. Jacob Wilson leads it off. The shortstop for the A's. Rooker's in right field. Soderstrom bats third. Langelier's fourth. Miguel Andujar bats fifth. That's the center fielder Lawrence Butler. Arias Kurtz and the backup catcher Johnny Pareda rounded out against Carlos Rodon.
Well, there are the numbers. Outstanding numbers on the year from Carlos. Outstanding job. The strikeouts, 57 strikeouts. That's 6 in baseball. Well, let's check out the Nissan pitchers scouting report. The Cambio, that's been a big, huge pitch. He's used that pitch a lot more this year than last year, especially to right-handed hitters. Consistent mechanics, and when you're going well, everything is right on the mound, especially over these last 4 starts, and they've been quality at 0.70 ERA. Only 2 earned runs in 25 2/3.
Trying to make it 5 excellent starts in a row as he deals with the early season frontrunner for AL Rookie of the Year, Jacob Wilson. Shortstop hitting .354 to start the season. Second behind only Judge. You have the top 3 leaders in batting average in this ballpark this weekend between Judge, Wilson, and Goldschmidt. And he profiles to similarly to Luis Arraez of the Padres, who we saw earlier this week. Amazing contact skills, really tough to strike out, and doesn't take his walks.
You know, it doesn't really have a lot of power. The outfielders will play him in, especially in right field. Clay Bellinger in right. Really shallow, trying to take away that base hit.
Rodon ahead, 1-2, the pitch. Swinging a high RBI drive into left field pretty deep. Dominguez on the run. He looks up, and it's off the wall. Grisham will play it off the carom. And Jacob Wilson continues to make contact. That one earns him a leadoff double in the bottom of the first.
Well, so much for that power comment. That was a four-seam fastball up in the zone, and it was in. Maybe away, you might have gotten an out. That was in. He just took those hands inside and crushed it. Ball's going to carry a lot better in the day. It just hits off that left center field wall.
So Wilson in scoring position. And the A's RBI leader from a season ago, Brent Rooker, at the plate. And you see what Rooker has done so far this season. Started slow. He's picking it up lately. .295 hitter over the last 23 games. And he swings over a changeup from Rodon. First scoring opportunity for the A's. They went 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position last night. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense in the infield. Paul Goldschmidt at first, Reyes at second, Volpe at short, Peraza at third, Austin Wells back behind the dish, Dominguez, Grisham, Bellinger left to right in the outfield. 1-2. Rodon again missing with the slider. Rooker had 39 homers, 112 runs driven in last year. Both career highs. And he swings and misses for strike 3. Another good changeup from Rodon.
Well, after missing twice on the breaking ball, that slider down and in. Now, Wells wanted it away, but it's still effective pitch. Rooker probably looking fastball.
Here's Tyler Soderstrom, runner at second, 1 out. Soderstrom hitless last night. Young, powerful left fielder began the year playing first base, but moved to the outfield once Nick Kurtz was promoted. As we take a look at the umpire scouting report, it's David Rackley. Fewer high strikes, fewer low strikes on righty batters.
So basically you have to throw it right down the middle to be able to get that pitch called for a strike.
And you'll get your way.
Yeah, exactly. It's not ideal for a pitcher.
Rodon. And this pitch lifted in the air, left center field. Again, deep. Dominguez battling the sun, makes the catch. Fires it in. And Wilson returns to second. 2 away. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. Yeah, the real feel, Nelly, a little bit higher than 88 degrees. What did she say?
I would say, although it's very comfortable here in the booth. There's the hill. All the fans, I hope they have their sunscreen out today. A lot of sun in the stands. I think Meredith melted away during the pregame.
Here's Shea Langoliers. Runner breaks for third. Throw by Wells. And he's safe. The throw not in time as Wilson steals third base.
Now you're stealing with 2 outs. You better be able to make it. Rodon's not real quick to the plate, and it was an off speed. There you see Rodon, and not really a great jump from Wilson either. Throw was just a little high.
He's popped up behind home plate. It'll reach the seats. And for this being a minor league park, the distance from home plate to backstop, it's one of the longest that you're going to find. That's one of the comments that Aaron Boone was making before the game yesterday about the different quirks. And the A's in the Coliseum, they had a lot of real estate in foul territory.
Yeah, the pitchers love to pitch there. I absolutely loved it. The mounds were always higher. The fly balls or the foul balls, they were always staying in play.
0-2. Rolled on the ground. Peraza with a chance. And the side retired after Carlos Rodon allowed a leadoff double. Scoreless after 1 inning here in West Sacramento. It's time to check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. Anthony Volpe threw up this inning to record a hit. Jason Dominguez to record an RBI. He would have been in good luck if that happened last night. Carlos Rodon to record 7 or more strikeouts this afternoon. Already has 1 under his belt. Here's Cody Bellinger. Didn't play last night. Twists out of the way of the first pitch to start the second. Bellinger 6 hits over a 5-game hit streak.
A couple home runs mixed in during those 5 games. Hits well against the Athletics, a 370 clip.
And he's hit well off lefties. So here's this guy with reverse splits. 2-0.
Mentioned those reverse splits, Shaq. Lefties are hitting 286 off the Sears compared to 216 from the right side.
And Bellinger is hitting 346 off lefties.
And a lot of that is the changeup. Sears doesn't throw the changeup to lefties, so lefties take that pitch away from him, basically fastball slider or sweeper.
Now, you and I were talking before the game. We noticed, look at the area right in front of home plate. The infield dirt, the clay, is so much darker than the rest of the home plate area. I'm talking to some athletics people. They were saying the grounds crew just drenches that in water. Bellinger rips a charge into that pitch into center field. Butler on the run makes the catch. As he runs into the wall, Bellinger gave it a ride, but Butler tracks it down 1 away.
Well, already we can see how much that ball carries during the day. I was watching batting practice yesterday, and it was getting out. And Butler got a late jump. Got a bad read on that ball because of the speed. He makes up for it. Yeah, I was asking all around. I was asking Steve Sachs, people that were working here, what is the deal with the dark in front of the dark dirt in front of home? A lot of great answers.
No, they said the areas, it's so hard. You're going to see a lot of high choppers. And we did see a couple last night, but they said it's pretty routine to see some balls just bounce over the head of the corner infielders. Anthony Volpe takes a look at ball 2. Went 1 for 4 last night, had a stolen base.
I don't think they do it much now, but home parks used to, especially the grounds crew, they used to manicure the field and even the lines to the team, the way they played. Old Tiger Stadium used to have grass that was almost like playing in weeds. It was so high because they had great infielders. You look talking about Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker up the middle to slow the ball down, even in the outfield, to slow the ball down a little bit. The St. Louis Cardinals with their speed. The grounds crew would, when bunts would go down the line, they would make sure that it would stay fair. A lot of times when you didn't have a lot of speed, the grounds crew would level and angle that dirt to go in the foul territory area.
Which field did you like pitching on most?
You know what? I didn't mind pitching on turf. I loved pitching in Toronto when they had turf. Seattle and the Kingdom had turf. Kansas City. You always got good hops. And I felt like it was just an easier time, to pitch.
3-2 to Volpe. And he earns a 1-out walk. Yankees with their first base runner. It'll bring up Austin Wells. Wells didn't play last night. He's going to be scheduled to start tomorrow as well. The 2 afternoon games. Saw Ben Rice get some run behind the plate late last night. And Wells gets hit by that pitch, so that puts 2 on.
Well, just like the first pitch to Bellinger, this was a slider. You just get underneath it and you don't really follow through, and it gets him right in that back elbow. Almost hit Bellinger. That was another slider to Wells.
So Wells will be at first, Volpe at second. Here's Jason Dominguez. 3 home runs last night. Became the youngest Yankee to hit 3 home runs in a game. The cherry on top, the grand slam. And here he bats from the right side against J.P. Sears. First pitch.
And he hit everything. Fastball, changeup, curveball.
Dominguez was asked after the game if he had ever had a 3 home run game before. And he said only when he played PlayStation, right, Meredith?
Yeah, Justin, and the funniest thing is he was asked who he was playing as. He said, of course, myself.
You know, a lot of these players around baseball, they see the stadiums for the first time on a video game. The hitters that they're facing first time on a video game.
And Aaron Judge, as we know, is on a huge tear to start the season. And I was talking to Giancarlo Stanton about him, and he said he plays MLB The Show, and he's Aaron Judge, and he can't even hit as well as Aaron Judge is hitting in real life. It's video game numbers for him, so that's a quirk too. But a lot of the guys like it.
You play The Show, the video game?
I'll let you answer that. You have other things to do, Jeff.
Dominguez sends it high in the air to left. It'll stay in the park here. Soderstrom makes the catch. Volpe's going to tag, head for third. The throw to third, and Volpe is out at third base.
Now, that was a big risk that Volpe took to make the third out at third. Good throw right there by Soderstrom.
It's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And today's picture is of little Florence, who is rooting for the Yankees from all the way in the United Kingdom, though she probably wasn't watching last night since it was a 3:05 a.m. local start time. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures, and you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game.
How about those fans there at Shaq? They got it all covered. Snowstorm, they got the blanket. If it's going to rain, they got the umbrella.
Why would you need the blanket on a day like today? Unless you're going to take the chairs away, I guess.
Maybe so they don't get burned. There is sunscreen, though.
Is that poor berm?
New, I think. Sunscreen.
Is that poor berm etiquette, though? You bring the lawn chairs and the blanket? Like, are you taking up too much space there? Next pitch to Andujar is rocked foul.
It's a lot of work carrying that stuff over on the grass.
That berm area is packed.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Pack a lunch. 0-2. And Andujar swings right through the slider for strike 3.
That's a great pitch. The pitch before just hung out over the middle of the plate, and he comes back with an even nastier slider. How about the average against, which is remarkable, 151 total for Rodon, but against righties, 135.
Here's Lawrence Butler. hit in last night's game. He's got some pink tape on his bat. Maybe ahead for Mother's Day.
I think you just stay with that pitch. Expand the zone a little bit. He'd look really poor on that slider.
Why not do it again, right? Rodon threw 13 scoreless innings in 2 starts against the A's last year. And he has been rolling here in 2025. Entering the day, like Nelly mentioned, best opponent's batting average, the lowest mark there. Second in strikeouts in the American League. Top 10 in a bunch of other pitching categories as he fans Butler with the slider. That's his 3rd strikeout, 2 away.
He did a really nice job setting up that pitch. The 2-2 pitch, fastball inside, then he just comes back with that slider. It's nasty. He's had a lot better bite on that slider, I feel, this year than he did last year.
Here's Arias.
When he first came to the Yankees, he started throwing that cutter, and that wasn't a great pitch for him. Once he scrapped that, started going to the changeup a little bit more.
The changeup has been such a big-time weapon added to his arsenal.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of his pitches were going in the same direction. He doesn't really throw a 2-seam fastball, something that goes down and away to a righty. Everything is into a righty.
Arias sends it down the left field line, but foul. I remember talking with Carlos earlier in the year about developing the changeup, how he would get with Sam Breen, the director of pitching, former pitching coach Desi Druschel, just to come up with the type of grip that would best fit him for what was comfortable, the type of movement that he wanted, and then it's just countless reps of throwing to try and figure out what works. This one lifted down the right field line, and that one hits off the foul pole for a home run. It was just high enough, and it doinked off the foul pole down the right field line. A solo homer for Luis Arias, and the A's are ahead 1-0.
Well, there you see the 325 mark. And Bellinger, the right fielder, really was playing over to right center field. I think everybody thought this ball was going foul. Here's a 4-seam fastball up and away. You can see it just hits off that foul pole.
Here's Nick Kurtz. I mean, the foul poles are low enough, and it hit off the lowest part just above the fence. Take another look. Oh, it just came inside the foul pole. So our sight lines are blocked from that area down the right field line. Just to the left of the 325 marker. So it's 1-0 A's. And Kurtz swings and misses through a sinker. That's the 7th home run allowed by Rodon here. That's another thing that he's done a nice job of, limiting the long ball, which was a problem in years past.
Well, there's nothing that you could do about that. A fastball up and away, and the ball just kept carrying out down the right field line.
There's a slider right over the plate for strike 3. 3 strikeouts sandwiched around a home run, and at the end of 2 innings, A's lead it. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. Pablo Reyes takes a look at strike 1. And that home run ball hit by Urias, just 94 miles an hour off the bat. So Reyes gets the start at second base today. Entered last night as a defensive replacement.
I was talking with Mark Kotze because we have to walk all the way down the line. The clubhouses are out left center field. Just reminiscing about some days we used to play against each other, and how he likes it here, how's the field play, and we talk with so many guys and people about how this field plays during the day and even at night. And he described it more as like a Wrigley Field, like wherever the wind is going. We talked a little bit about this yesterday with Meredith talking to Severino about how the wind plays and affects the pitching. Same with the hitting. Wherever the wind goes, that's pretty much where the ball's going to go, just like Wrigley. Right now, it looks like it's blowing out a little bit to right center field.
Some sliced foul. There was a ball hit by Aaron Judge last night out to left. It looked like that was a goner off the bat and then kind of kicked back in.
Well, even his first at bat, I thought he had one.
Did you pitch well against Kotze?
He was a lefty, so I probably didn't face him very often. And plus, I think he spent more time in the National League. He's a good little scrappy player. I wanted to ask, remember last night when Grisham caught the ball and highlighted to Aaron Judge and right? I meant to ask him, say, wait a minute. I mean, you complained about that and wanted one of the umpires to review it saying it wasn't a catch. You did that all the time. He was a good outfielder.
This is his fourth season managing the A's, and you got to give credit. He's shepherded a young group through a lot of adversity that they did not create within the clubhouse, between their situation with their stadiums, moving on from Oakland, playing here now with the focus on Las Vegas 3 years down the road. And you could see it. They're getting better little by little.
They are, and he even asked me, he says, what do you think of my team? I said, hey, you got a lot of good young players, and it's taken a while to be able to produce these players and get them right for the big leagues. And then, like you mentioned, they have a move from Oakland here to Sacramento, and you're going to be here for 3 years and maybe even a fourth in 2028 if that stadium in Vegas is not ready.
This is a good at-bat from Pablo Reyes to start off the top of the third. And people around the ballpark were buzzing about how last night was the busiest it's been since opening day with the Yankees in town. 2-2 again. This time Sears is able to get Reyes for out number one.
Well, 11 pitches, and he finally threw that sweeper up in the zone and got Reyes. A good battle there between Sears and Reyes.
Here's Oswald Peraza. Was the defensive replacement late in last night's game. 8 for 41 on the year. He's starting at third. Oswaldo Cabrera gets the day off to begin. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Yankees do once DJ LeMahieu finally does return, which sounds like it could be imminent here.
Yeah, possibly Seattle.
Here's the 2-0. Peraza swings and misses. And Meredith, I know LeMahieu was a name that came up in Aaron Boone's pregame media session, right?
Well, he was supposed to play the last 2 games with the Rail Riders, but weather in the area did not allow that to happen. So he's expected to play today, most likely tomorrow, and then, Jeff, as you mentioned, Monday, a possibility in Seattle. But when that time comes, the Yankees are going to have to make a move, perhaps a difficult move. And Aaron Boone said those conversations have already started. Didn't want to tip his hand as to which way they are leaning, but you better believe they're trying to decide that and going over every scenario to see what makes the most sense for them.
Peraza with a fly ball to Butler in center. 2 away.
Oh, even a starter tomorrow, right? Everybody was asking who's going to start tomorrow, possibly Yarborough, right?
I love that because I asked him after the game last night, and he said some version of Yarborough. I don't know what that means yet. After tomorrow, I'll know more what that means. But he will be out there, and he will give us innings, some version.
Well, you look at the starting staff, and that's helped out the situation. You haven't had to go to that bullpen early. Nice job by Fried at home on Wednesday. He had the day off, and then Will Warren, a career game in his young career, going into that 8th inning, 7 in the 3rd. And then you have Rodon today.
4 straight games of 2 runs or fewer allowed, at least 6 innings pitched by Yankee starters. 0-1 to Goldschmidt.
Good starting pitching makes for a better bullpen. When you start eliminating that 6th inning, 7th inning, and you're getting maybe 9 outs, maybe 10 outs from your bullpen, you get your starters to go deep. When the Yankees were really good in the World Series years, they talk about how great the bullpen was, but the starting staff was outstanding. You're getting 6, 7, 8 innings almost every start. And you're worrying about maybe 4 or 5 outs, maybe 6 outs at most from that bullpen.
And then you figure you divvy it up. There's 3 guaranteed to Mo. So that leaves what? Close to around 2 or 3.
Maybe 2 or 3 outs. And then you didn't have to worry about the 3-batter minimum that you had to come in to face. You could match up. Joe Torre could wear a path out from the dugout to the mound and just keep raising his right and left arm.
Man, what would the bridge to Mo have looked like with a 3-batter minimum? Two. Goldschmidt stays alive.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That's a good point. I think in baseball you had a lot of lefty specialists back then. Righties usually faced both sides, but some lefties, I'm not saying Mike Stanton or Graham Lloyd were lefty specialists. They could pitch to both sides. But around baseball, you had more lefty specialists, I think, than righties. That would have cut them out.
Goldschmidt lays off the sweeper, counts full. A's lead at 1-0, top of the 3rd, 2 out, nobody on. Goldschmidt flew out to right field his first time up. Payoff. Blasted into left field, coming in Soderstrom, and it's a 2-out single, first hit of the day for the Yankees.
That's a great at-bat from Goldschmidt. Watch how he pulls his hands in on a fastball inside. Real short swing. Nice and level.
Well, the Yankees are making J.P. Sears work this inning. Reyes had an 11-pitch at-bat. That was an 8-pitch plate appearance by Goldschmidt. Here's Grisham. Hits with 1 on and 2 out. And it's rolled to second. Arias. And the side is retired. Yankees strand a runner. Middle of the 3rd. They trail 1-0. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. Big Rube and, Scott Brocious. Some of the players who have worn both uniforms here between the Yankees and the A's. And, of course, Rickey Henderson, the late, great man of steel, who they honor with his number and name right behind home plate here at Sutter Health Park. Rodon facing Johnny Pereda, the number 9 hitter.
You thought you would bury the real numbers here, Nelly. I was asking you last inning how you fared against Mark Kotze. Well, we dug him up, and he's homered off of you.
I know. I don't remember that. And he's a lefty, so it wouldn't surprise me. As they would say, I'm in his book.
We're talking about your former pitching teammates from the dynasty years. As Pareda shoots this one through the hole on the left side. Leadoff single for the number 9 hitter. It's a pretty important date in Yankees history in the '96 season. This is the date where David Cone underwent successful surgery to remove an aneurysm in his right shoulder, and that sidelined him until September the 2nd. But what did it feel like at the time when Cone went down with such a serious injury? What was that vibe like in the clubhouse?
Well, it was tough because he was one of our most consistent pitchers, and you're talking about a guy that everybody learned from. He was like another pitching coach in the dugout. In the dugout.
Wilson shows bunt, lays it down, and Peraza can't barehand it. Pareda will go to second. Wilson will be safe at first.
Wilson has good speed, and this might be an instance that you let this go. It's a great bunt right down the third baseline, and it stays in that grass. But you never know if that was going to go foul. You might have given it a better shot to just keep that ball going down the line. Peraza comes in, tries to barehand it. You can see it might have hit the edge of that grass and shot foul. You never would have known now. And David Cone actually came back, and he pitched for the first time over there in Oakland against the A's. I think he had a no-no in 7 innings.
He did. And Mo, out of all pitchers, gave up the hit to break up the no-no. Here's Rooker hitting with 2 on and nobody out. September 2nd, 1996 at the Coliseum. That's when Cone returned and had a terrific outing, and Rooker sends it deep into left field, and that one is gone. 3-run bomb by Brent Rooker. And the A's have taken a 4-0 lead on Carlos Rodon. Got out of here in a hurry. 10th of the season for Rooker.
Well, just watching Paredes at bat against Rodon, the 9-hole hitter, he was looking off speed the whole time, and it seems like this second time around the lineup, the Athletics are doing the same thing, and that was a slider out over the middle of the plate. He had the bunt by Wilson, but it seems like these guys are trying to sit on off speed.
Here's Soderstrom. This Athletics offense, they have some pop.
Well, there's an at-bat right there. It's pretty similar to Pareda. Pareda fouled a ball off the first base dugout, a right-handed hitter on a fastball up and away. Rodon came back with a slider. He sped up his bat. You stay fastball here, and you don't go off speed. He does have a good slider, and I'm taking that away, but sometimes you just have to read swings and understand what hitters are trying to do to you. And when you have guys that are late on your fastball, the worst thing you can do is try to speed up their bat with off speed, whether it's that changeup or the slider.
There's the slider as Rodon fans Soderstrom for out number 1. Let's take a look at the Genesis League leaders, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Rodon now surpassing Tarek Skubal for the American League strikeout total. He has 5 this afternoon. Here's Langoliers. The A's DH grounded out to third back in the first. 94 on the corner.
Yeah, good heater. 94-95. Again, reach swings, understand what they're looking for. I think Langoliers is looking off speed again, whether it's a changeup or a breaking ball.
I'm on the four-seamer again.
Stay with that pitch, go a little higher.
Here's the 1-2. Trying to bury the slider. Last season, Langoliers hit 29 homers. He drove in 80 runs. And he threw out 29 would-be base stealers. Again, not catching here today. 2-2. And Rodon's pitch just clipped off the mask of Wells.
Life as a catcher. Oof. No, thank you.
Austin gave a look like, yeah, I didn't see that coming. Two again. And comebacker whizzes past Rodon into center field. Base hit for Langoliers. Fourth hit of the inning for the A's.
Well, and another slider up, and this is right back up the box, and Rodon barely got out of the way of it. Right past that number on his back.
Still one out. And one on for Andujar, who struck out his first time. This one rolled on the ground to short. Volpe bobbles to second. They just get Langoliers for the force. Well, the bobble prevented a possible double play. Volpe still went the short route, and they get Langoliers.
Well, it looked like that right foot might have slipped on the grass a little bit, and then all of a sudden that ball just hopped up on him, hit him in the chest.
May get a challenge here.
The Athletics are challenging the out call at second base.
So the A's are challenging whether or not he was out or safe.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. The Athletics will retain their challenge.
So Langoliers is safe. The challenge replay brought to you by Citizens Made Ready.
Well, you go from a double play ball to now one out, first and second.
It's an error on Volpe. And the A's have runners on first and second, like Nelly said. So trouble here for Rodon in the bottom of the third. First pitch to the lefty Butler. And misses low. Butler's just 24. Made his debut a couple of years ago, and the A's locked him up to a 7-year extension in the offseason worth $65.5 million. It's going to keep him with this organization through at least 2031. The deal also carries a team option for 2032. So he's a player that they are hoping can be one of the cornerstones on their way to Vegas.
I'll repeat myself, and the Athletics are just looking off speed. And that fastball was right by Butler. The previous pitch was a slider. He stayed back on one of to try to hit it to left field. This whole inning, they've sat on that slider.
One, two. Went with the slider. Did he go around? He sure did, according to Chris Guccione. So a big strikeout there by Rodon. The 6th Yankee strikeout brought to you by Audi in the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local tri-state Audi dealer today. So if they're sitting on that particular pitch, how do you navigate the lineup knowing you still have to throw it at some point?
Well, you really don't until they prove that they're going to hit the fastball. I mean, if you've noticed in this inning, every fastball that he's thrown, they've either fouled it off on the other side or swung through. You got to read swings sometimes, and sometimes those swings will tell you what they're looking for. And when they're late on the fastball, they're looking off speed.
A little dribbler to the right side of the infield. Goldschmidt, Rodon with the bare hand, and the side is retired. But the A's strike for 3 runs, highlighted by a 3-run shot for Brent Rooker. We go to the 4th, 4-0 A's. Yankees with some work to do now, trailing 4-0 as we start the 4th inning. Aaron Judge leads it off against J.P. Sears, who doubled his pitch total in the 3rd inning alone through 26 pitches. First one to Judge. Left it high in the air. Right center field and deep. Butler on the run at the wall. It is gone. Aaron Judge back home and hitting bombs in Sacramento. And the Yankees are on the board. It's now 4-1. And the crowd liked that one. A lot of fans here on their feet for Aaron Judge's 13th home run of the season.
Well, I was off by a night. I thought he was going to hit, or off by a day. I thought he was going to hit one last night. Number 13 on the year for Aaron Judge.
Here's Cody Bellinger. Aaron Boone was asked about the Yankees playing in the 2nd minor league park of the season. They were obviously at Steinbrenner Field earlier against the Rays with the short foul poles, no 3rd deck, the home run that wasn't for Aaron Judge. And he was talking about the foul poles. Boone joked, yeah, I just told him to lower the trajectory on all of them here.
Hit more line drives.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if he gets it up in the air any higher, we're going to see him some boom shots. This is a first pitch fastball, up 4-0. Sears thinks that he can get ahead. And Sears is just hoping this stays in. Butler gave it a look. Just gets it to the Yankee bullpen. 2-2. Swatted foul.
One hop into the berm. Oh, nice catch on a bare hand.
399 feet on that home run.
This one line through the hole on the left side into left field for a base hit for Bellinger. And Cody extends his hit streak to 6 straight games. Yeah, that's the stat we're used to seeing. Now the league leader. And I got to tell you, I don't know if that'll ever be relinquished the rest of the way. Could be, but I'll take the odds in favor of the captain.
I think Ohtani hit his 12th. Was it yesterday? The day before?
Here's Volpe.
Well, he also gets the lead back in hits. There's 2 hits by Wilson. They were tied until that big home run.
Fouled that pitch behind home plate. No, normally in a big league ballpark that would go into that 3rd deck that we're talking about. In this ballpark, one of our cameramen who has some shade with a red umbrella. It just bounced right off the red umbrella. It found the red umbrella. Check swing, and he went around. Volpe retired.
You know, umbrellas are not just for rain anymore. They're also deflecting baseballs. There's that slider, that big sweeper down to the back leg that Volpe couldn't hold up on.
So 1 out, 1 on. Here's Austin Wells. Wells walked his first time up. Bellinger at first. Sears misses outside. The 1-1. Staying outside against the lefty.
With Sears, he has a 4-pitch mix. He throws the slider, or the sweeper, the slider, the changeup, and the fastball. But to left-handed hitters, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. He's that big sweeper and a 4-seamer upstairs. If you can't control the sweeper, you sit on that 4-seamer.
Swings over that sweeper that caught more of the plate. The A's have won each of Sears' last 4 starts. They're ahead by 3. Wells sends it high in the air to left. Soderstrom will make the catch. Bellinger races back to first, 2 away. Here's Dominguez with a man on. Flew out to left field in the second. That ended up being an inning double play after Volpe tried to tag up. Yankees are on the board thanks to a solo homer from Aaron Judge. And pitching there for a strike. And Dominguez talked about playing himself in PlayStation. I asked him this morning, what's he rated in the video game? That could be a sore subject for certain athletes.
I don't understand any part of that. Being rated on a video, what is that? You got to explain that.
Well, the video game can give you a player rating. Pitch is low. And I mean, if it's on I believe it's on a scale of 1 to, I mean, 100's obviously the highest rating a player can get, but if you're rated, say, below 90, I don't know.
No soup for you?
I don't think he'd be warm to that rating.
Did he tell you what it was?
He said, as he bounces this to third. We'll continue this later on next inning. But this ball continuing its flight path from the captain, Aaron Judge, digging in the city in which he was born. Makes his mark in Sacramento with home run number 13, 4-1 A's. On Wednesday, host Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe for an entertaining look at the numbers that have defined his career. Watch the season premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery, this Wednesday following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Rodon back to work in the bottom of the 4th as the Yankees trail 4-1. Nick Kurtz, who struck out looking his first time up, number 8 hitter. Judge putting the Yankees on the board. He's back in this ballpark. Judge did play at Sutter Health Park when he was playing in college for Fresno State. That was back in 2013. And he grew up about an hour south of here. Rodon handles Kurtz for the second time this afternoon.
7 more parks to go for Aaron Judge to complete the home run cycle.
Wow. Of course, you had to add one with this part.
I know. Well, 7 more.
Said, you're trying to make this tougher for me? Okay, I'll show you. There's Pareda. We know that Seattle's not on that list, that's for sure.
Well, 2 teams that he does really well against, and he does great against Seattle. We'll throw some numbers up there when we get there on Monday, but also at T-Mobile he does well again there. A place that the Mariners typically don't hit well, but Aaron Judge doesn't seem to have a problem.
One, 2.
It will be about 30 degrees cooler there in Seattle than it is here in Sacramento. And enjoy this bright thing that's in the sky. You may not see that the next 3 days either.
Another strikeout by Carlos Rodon, his 8th as he sets down Pareda. Let's check out the Farzinga hitters scouting report on Jacob Wilson.
You mentioned it earlier. He's a contact machine. 7 strikeouts and 154 plate appearances going into today. He was second in hits. Well, he's still the second in hits because of Judge's home run. Number 3, he's third in baseball in average at 354, a little higher today. We're going 2 for 2. And like father, like son. His dad, Jack Wilson, played 12 years in the major leagues, also a shortstop with the Pirates, Seattle, Atlanta. He was an all-star in 04.
Jacob is the A's first-round pick in 2023. Went 6th overall. They have 3 first-round picks as regulars in their lineup between Wilson, Kurtz, and Soderstrom. So, you know, it's one thing to be able to draft high. You got to hit on these picks, and so far it looks like the A's have.
Similar to if you look at what the Astros did when they were losing all those years and stockpiled picks, and next thing you know they've took off in the West and started winning and getting to the playoffs. Same with the Rays. The Rays, you know, losing for years and stockpiling picks.
This is a high drive into center. Grisham will make the catch. And the side retired by Rodon in order. We go to the 5th, 3-run ball game. All right, Nelly, let's take a look at the pitching decisions for J.P. Sears, presented by Sage.
Well, he likes to climb the ladder with a fastball, and then he goes to that sweeper. He's got a good one. There's that fastball upstairs. He got Judge and Grisham in the first inning. And another sweeper to a righty, and that was Reyes. 4 strikeouts on the day so far for Sears.
Here he faces Pablo Reyes, the number 8 hitter. JP facing his former club. Meredith, I know you got a chance to speak with JP yesterday, right?
Justin, he gave a lot of credit to the Yankees organization for really helping him build the foundation. He said now there's so much more experience. He feels like a totally different pitcher on the mound. There's much more confidence than when he first pitched for the Yankees in the big leagues in 2022. One of the things he did say, he feels like his fastball is a little bit better. He can better throw it to both sides of the plate. And Jeff, you mentioned that sweeper. He's done a better job of getting more depth on that sweeper and knowing when and where to use it. Now, also kind of a cool story. When he made the opening day roster back in 2022, he flew with the team from Tampa to New York to start the season. His parents were in town, and Aaron Judge called him when they landed in New York and said, hey, I have a reservation at Don Angie. Do you want to take it and take your family? So Sears said, okay. So they all went to Don Angie, and as they're about to order, Aaron Judge walks in, introduces himself to the family, and guys, picked up the check. Of course, he just wanted to make sure that he felt comfortable, part of the team, all those good things. Something that J.P. Sears said he will never forget, talking about what a teammate Aaron Judge is off the field.
Kurtz drops that ball. Reyes is going to have to head for second, but he's going to be out. Well, the ball dropping on the right side of the infield. So Reyes will be retired. Peraza will be at first.
Now, we talked about the high sky, and even this is your home park. You're going to lose the baseball in that high sky. A lot of sun, very bright. And there you see Kurtz, he lost it off. He clanked it off the glove, but you have Urias right there to back him up to get the force out. That was a great story. Picked up the tab and then
met his family, and then Aaron Judge thanked him here this afternoon with a home run, right?
It's tough to get it to Don Angie.
Well, I think the captain has a little bit of pull.
That's right.
A little more pull than the three of us. 2022, high times there, too.
That's right. It's the height of the pinwheel lasagna.
There you go.
Here's Goldschmidt up for the third time today.
You know, it's tough to do. You know, tough to pitch against your old club. I think as players, because you really don't stick with one team, or very few guys, one team very long. I've known guys, and I ain't even done it. I've gone through your own lineup thinking, hey, I might be with a different team. How am I going to get these guys out if I'm pitching against them somewhere else?
Well, J.P. Sears said about Aaron Judge, every hitter has holes. With him, obviously, far fewer than the rest of the league. And when I spoke to Luis Severino, who gets the ball for the A's tomorrow, he simply said, I haven't even thought about how I'm going to try to get him out yet. It's not even on my radar yet. We'll deal with that later.
You know, even with the position players, they're behind him. They're watching Severino. They're watching Sears. And they're figuring out, okay, this is how he gets other hitters out. And maybe that's something that they'll go into tomorrow and say, hey, I got to look fastball, I got to look slider, look at a certain place on the plate.
Goldschmidt tanks it foul.
Now, the Yankees didn't see Severino last year, but in speaking to him, he is excited to get out there on that mound and face his former team. There's no doubt about it.
Two sides have been really playful since last year. Severino said, no, they were ducking me last year. That'll be a fun sight tomorrow. As Goldschmidt lifts it high into left field. Soderstrom, 2 away. Now, did you face the Yankees between your two stints?
Yeah, I faced them a lot. Probably one of the reasons why I got traded with Tino over there. And then when I went back in 01 back to Seattle after the 2000, I faced them all the time. And it is, and even when I was a Yankee and pitching against Seattle, you never wanted to look at your teammates. You know, Edgar Martinez had good numbers against me. He had good numbers against everyone. But I did. I went through the whole lineup, both when I was with New York and also in Seattle. And I just sat in the bullpen and said, hey, if I'm going to be with a different team, how am I getting these guys out?
A's lead at 4-1 in the top of the fifth. 2 out, runner at first. Grisham 0 for 2. And he rips it in the air to center. Coming in is Butler. Still on the run. Butler makes the running catch. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, a runner left. Middle of the fifth, 4-1 A's. All right, let's take a look at the optimum don't take slow for an answer replay.
Well, slider down and in, and Brent Rooker just dropped ahead of the bat, number 10 on the year. A big 3-run homer in the third inning.
Biggest blow of the game so far. A's lead at 4-1. You see Rooker, 49 home runs hit since the start of last season. That broke an 0 for 10 run against Carlos Rodon. It's his first ever hit against Rodon. He slices it into right field. There's Bellinger. So I got more clarity on the video game rating.
Yes.
You can't be rated a 100. The highest rating is 99. And I'm told that there are only 4 players who have a rating over 90 right now. Don't know who those players are, but Dominguez said his rating is at 75, and he's been playing himself in Road to the Show.
So that's a minor league video game?
It's like a minor league simulation as you build your career. He said he started at a 60 rating, and now he's at a 75. So that's a lot of progress.
Thank God I have a nightlife.
Weren't you at least curious to see what you looked like in a video game?
I've seen a little bit. It was back a bunch of years ago, but it used to go by, I think the relievers, I don't know if they still do it, like by strength.
Soderstrom with a high drive. Grisham makes the catch in center, 2 away.
I was a guy that was strong through 1 inning, and if you tried to use me anymore, going downhill.
So Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, and Aaron Judge are the only 3 players with 99 ratings. It's appropriate.
It's not a shock.
2 away, nobody on, and here is Langoliers. And it's a hard liner into center. Base hit for Langoliers, his second of the afternoon.
Well, first pitch slider. That doesn't get me over. There you see it really didn't do much. Cement mixer out over the middle of the plate. Didn't have that downward break.
Here's Andujar with 2 outs. He attacks the high fastball into center. Grisham can't make the catch on the dive. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. Being waved around third is Langoliers. He's going to come in to score. And Duhar's going to jog into third with an RBI triple. And it's 5-1 A's.
Now, this is going to be interesting. You see, this is a fastball. Watch Grisham really doesn't take a great angle at it. Has to make up for it. And he dove after this. Now, you dive and you keep it in front of you. Now, this ball gets lodged in, so that means it's a double, and Langoliers has to go back to third. Now, Marcotte's out there talking to the third base umpire. And that's Guccione.
So that saves a run from scoring. Aaron Boone out on the field as well. Let's take another look here. Yeah.
It lodges under that padding out there in center field.
Something else you see a lot of in Wrigley. So the wind's not the only thing.
That gets underneath that ivy, and the Yankees caught a break there. And Langoliers has got to go back to third.
Fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce. So you get the best customer service experience possible. Spectrum.
That's a 2-base play. So no run scores. Langoliers is at third and Duhar is at second with 2 outs. And the Yankees catch a break, and we'll now see if Rodon can get himself out of this 2-out jam.
Yeah, nice job by the umpires giving us an explanation on that. Guccione, the crew chief, had a little mishap yesterday in the game, and we had no idea what was going on.
Here's Lawrence Butler batting with 2 outs. Yeah, that play last night, a fly ball to center field, initially ruled a catch by Blade, but it was clearly a trap ball. And the umpires, you make the judgment call where to place the runners. You can't challenge that. Rodon has struck out Butler twice already. Can he get through this inning? It's a delayed strike call by Dan Rackley. Beg your pardon, David Rackley. And it's 1-2. Langoliers at third and Duhar at second. 1-2 pitch. He got him to chase the slider. Butler down, and so are the A's as Rodon gets out of the jam here in the 5th.
Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Brewers and Rays at George M. Steinbrenner Field at top of the 3rd. Jackson Chourio. No doubt about that off Taj Bradley, the left center, his 7th homer of the season. That's where they stand right now. Milwaukee leads at 1-0, looking to bounce back after the Rays won it last night 4-3. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. Let's go around the majors. And Shohei Ohtani hitting a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 9th to cap a 6-run inning over the D-backs. Dodgers won it 14-11. Tarek Skubal has been blazing hot his last 6 starts. 4-0 record, ERA under 1. And watch out for the Royals. Definitely not the team the Yankees faced last month at the stadium. Their offense has picked it up. They've won 16 of 18. J.P. Sears out of the game. Justin Sterner coming in out of the bullpen. The righty facing Aaron Judge to start off the 6th. It's a 4-1 ball game.
Well, with Sears, that 3rd time around the lineup, and a lot of clubs are very cautious with pitchers facing that lineup the 3rd time. He goes from a 200 average to 186 the 2nd time to 333. Sears did the 3rd time around.
Judge not biting on that sweeper. Sterner has not given up a run in 18 2/3. Judge with a big blast to center field. Butler looking up off the batter's eye. Another bomb by Judge. 2nd home run and as many at-bats for Aaron Judge, and it's now 4-2 A's. Give him a show in Sacramento.
Did you say something about Sterner not giving up a run?
Yeah, that got old really quick. A multi-homer game for the captain, number 14 on the season.
I had enough of everybody else having fun last night. Dominguez 3 home runs, Goldschmidt a homer to jump in on the party. Well, he gets a fastball. It was supposed to be away. There you see how it leaked out over the plate. Belt high.
.433 feet to straightaway center.
Sterner's fastball, 93 to 94 miles an hour. He's got a cutter and also a sweeper.
See that? No 40th career multi-homer game for Judge. 4th all-time in Yankee history. It's incredible. It's a one-man show right there. .3-1. Ball 4 to Bellinger.
Well, here it is again. Fastball out over the middle of the plate. Belt high, and just kept carrying to center field. About halfway up in the batter's eye.
Sterner in discussion with Scott Emerson, the pitching coach. All smiles, though, for this Yankee offense. Now with 68 home runs in 40 games. A terrific record-setting pace for them. So here's Volpe. He's the tying run. 4-2 A's, top of the 6th. Nobody out.
Well, this isn't Colorado, but the ball flies, and if you're going to have success as a pitcher, especially an athletic, you better be able to keep the ball down, be able to spot your fastball and pitches down in the zone, get ground balls. Especially during the day, you don't want that ball in the air. One. Hit in the air, left center field, angling back. Soderstrom, it'll drop in for a base hit. He'll cut it off in the gap. Bellinger gets the stop sign at third, and Anthony Volpe pulls into second with a double. Yankees have 2 in scoring position and nobody out. That's the cutter. Out over the middle plate, supposed to be away. Volpe gave it a ride into that left center field gap, cut off by Soderstrom. Nice job by Luis Rojas, the third base coach, holding up Bellinger at third. No need to risk getting him thrown out at home with nobody out. Yankees smelling blood here in the water in the top of the 6th. Austin Wells standing in with 2 in scoring position. See McFarland, the lefty, in the bullpen for the A's. Starter, 1-0. Bellinger at third, Volpe at second. Taps it foul. The A's are willing to give up a run. They're going to play back. The only way Bellinger does not go home if it's hit to the third baseman, Andujar. Everybody else playing back there. You see the infield alignment. 1-2. High drive, left field. They should get a run in. Soderstrom makes the catch. Bellinger tags. A sac fly for Austin Wells. And it's now a 4-3 A's lead. So the Yankees chipping away little by little. And now that runner in scoring position, Anthony Volpe at second, the tying run for Jason Dominguez. Oh for 2 today. Now he's batting from the left side. Righty and Grant Holman joining McFarland in the bullpen. 1-0. Low in the dirt, gets away from Paredes. That's going to get Volpe to third. Tying run 90 feet away. Well, you watch how he turned his glove. He tried to pick this up instead of getting in front of it. A lot of times with catching on one knee, you're going to have a harder time getting over there and blocking that baseball. You see a lot of backhand picks when catchers are down on one knee. Infield now in, and the pitch fouled back to the net. One out runner at third. Now, usually you go on contact with one out, but last night there was a couple instances that the Yankees had one out with men on third, and they did not go with one out. Turn on that one. Here you see Pablo Reyes on deck. Yankees were trailing 4-0 after 3 innings. 3-run shot from Brent Rooker in the bottom of the third. The big scoring for the A's. A pair of solo home runs by Aaron Judge. Now a sac fly driving in Cody Bellinger.
Anthony Volpe doubled. He's now at third as the tying run. 2-2 the count. The pitch. It's inside.
You're going to go back and look at that ground rule double off of Andujar in that 5th inning that would have scored Langoliers if it wouldn't have gotten lodged underneath that padding. That's a big play right now in this game.
Payoff pitch. It's inside. Ball 4. And Dominguez will reach. More speed on the bases for the Yanks. So Reyes looks like he is going to be called back. And Oswaldo Cabrera is warming up in the the on-deck circle. You see him on the left of your screen. So Cabrera will pinch hit here. Well, Sterner was pitching terrifically up until this afternoon. Again, 18 2/3 scoreless innings. But here he's in a world of trouble.
Now, Paredes went out and talked to Sterner, and you got to be careful of Dominguez. Dominguez, 3 stolen bases. The Athletics are going to play back for the double play. You have a 1st and 3rd situation. A lot of times clubs won't throw through if you try to attempt a steal from first. Volpe has a lot of speed on 3rd.
He's the tying run. Cabrera 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter this season. Still just 1 out in the top of the 6th. 2 runs already in. Runners at the corners for the Yankees. Going for a 4th straight win. Dominguez takes off from first. It's popped up, shallow left. Could be deep enough for Volpe to tie it. Soderstrom makes the catch. Here comes Volpe. Throw's going to be cut off. Volpe will score. It's a pinch hit sac fly for Oswaldo Cabrera. And the Yankees have tied it up here in the 6th. It's now a 4-4 game.
Well, Dominguez had a huge jump off of first, but Cabrera had a fastball that he was able to lift in the air, and Soderstrom does not have a good arm in left field.
So here's Oswald Peraza. What was a 4-0 A's lead has been erased. It's now a 4-4 game. Peraza at the plate. Go-ahead run and Dominguez at first. Have scored 3 runs this inning. Started with the solo homer from Aaron Judge, his 2nd of the game. Chipping away. Never hurts, though, when some runs are supplied with 1 swing, like the captain's provided.
Well, just when Sears was looking for his first win against the Yankees, I was going to have to wait for that.
Sears went 5 innings, gave up that first Judge homer. All that good work erased here by Justin Sterner in the 6th. 1-1. Foul to the net. There's Goldschmidt waiting on deck. One-two. Right deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it could be gone. And it's off the foul pole. A 2-run homer for Oswald
Yankees have the lead. They've scored 5 here in the 6th. And it's now 6-4 Bombers. What a shot by Peraza. Coming through from the number 9 spot. By the Yankees in this inning. And that's going to be it for Sutter. Watch this hanger. He just tomahawks his sweeper. Good bat spike. Sutter implodes as Peraza sends it out to left. Second home run of the season. Yankees come back to score 5 runs here on the top of the 6th. New pitcher on. It's Grant Holman for the A's. There's a 4-0 lead. Has been answered by 6 unanswered runs by the Yankees. A pair of homers from Aaron Judge. Some small ball runs and then a 2-run go-ahead blast by Oswald Peraza. There's Goldschmidt. 4th time up today. Goldschmidt looking for his 2nd hit. Cues it off the end of the bat.
Grant Holman, he'll feature a lot of split fingers. Those 2 last pitches, besides that fastball, they were splits. They weren't sliders. They throw a fastball 94 to 95, but almost half the time he's throwing that split finger.
With a splitter, he held up. Big time hit by Peraza. Two. This is inside.
Payoff.
Clipped foul. Peraza's first home run since the very first few days of the season. He's only had 44 at-bats. First homer came in that 2nd Saturday of the season. This one hit hard on the ground to Wilson at short, and he puts it away. But the Yankees, they come away with 5 runs. It began with the big man. A crusher from the captain. And then Peraza doing damage from the 9 spot. A go-ahead 2-run shot. Yanks lead it 6-4. All right, Ellie, it's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. This is a number 10. This is tough.
And I played with him again in Seattle. And against him.
Told it's a Saturday 10. We've made this a theme now. Saturdays are the hardest. Carlos Rodon pitching here in the bottom of the 6th, now with a lead against Luis Urias. Defensively, Oswaldo Cabrera stays in over at 3rd base. Oswald Peraza moves to 2nd. You have an idea?
I already knew. I
you got it
back, yes. Once I saw that he was with Seattle in 01, then I'm like, okay, I got to go back. This guy played a long time. I actually gave up a home run to him. This person, the name of the Yankee.
Now, how's your mind work there? Because you see that he last played for Seattle in 01. Yeah, you think of like, oh, who was the old geezer in the clubhouse?
Exactly. There's only a few of them.
See Fernando Cruz starting to warm up for the Yankees. The pitch by Urias popped up in foul ground. Let's see if it stays in play. Goldschmidt makes the catch. One away. Yeah, I have no idea who that could be in that Yankee. So we'll have to wait and see.
If I'm getting it, I don't think it's 10. I think maybe yesterday's was a lot harder than today's.
Being asked by our producer Troy Benjamin what I thought was harder yesterday or today. Obviously today is because I got yesterday's.
I think it was just a process elimination on that last year for me, so that maybe made it a little bit easier.
Fly ball, right field. Bellinger to the right. Rodon had a blip in the third, gave up a 3-run shot to Brent Rooker after surrendering a leadoff single to Johnny Pereda, then a bunt single to Jacob Wilson. Since then, he's limited the damage. Now he could be in line for a win.
Well, you absolutely love his demeanor on the mound. He's a guy you don't find too often in the major leagues that wants the ball all the time, does not want to be taken out. He saves your bullpen. He doesn't care if he's given up a couple runs. He still goes out there and battles.
Ball skips in the dirt. Rodon has been lights out for this Yankees team. But today, giving up 4 runs, his offense has his back. Erasing a 4-0 deficit. And again, he's pitching here with 2 outs in the 6th. It would lend you to believe that Ryan Yarbrough is likely going to start tomorrow's finale. He said some version of Ryan Yarbrough tomorrow in Aaron Boone. It's likely the version that'll begin the game.
He pitched well against Tampa Bay when he had to make that start on 4 innings.
Payoff pitch. Check swing, 4-seamer, freezes him. There's strike 3. 10 strikeouts for Carlos Rodon. Yankees are ahead 6-4 as we go to the 7th in Sacramento. This year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. On Friday, June 6th, the first 18,000 guests will receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Some Yankee fans taking in the game here in West Sacramento. They've seen their team rally back down 4-0. The big highlight, a 5-run 6th inning. As Holman continues to work, faces Trent Grisham. And Nelly, we're going to have a chance for Aaron Judge to possibly hit out a 3rd home run. He's in the on-deck circle. Pitch outside.
We've hit a few wall scrapers. 433 the last one. What was it? 399, I think. 396 on his first one. I want to see like a 460, 475 here.
Grisham lifts it high in the air to left field. Soderstrom there. And he'll make the catch. And that'll bring Judge to the plate. average back above 400. Judge entered today hitting .396. Holman delivers. He's fouled at the plate. First meeting between Holman and Judge. Yankees trying to add to their lead here. Holman gets the call on the outside slider. I think back to last year's Yankees trip out west, where they went and played the Giants. It was the first time that Judge was in that ballpark. Grew up a big Rich Aurelia, Barry Bonds fan, a fan of the Giants, and he had multiple home runs in that ballpark. And here he is, about an hour's drive north of his hometown in Linden, and he's, again, putting on a show here in Northern California.
Anybody say how many family members or friends that came to watch Aaron Judge?
I haven't heard anything. Swing and a miss on the splitter. So Judge strikes out.
Well, you had to figure Holman was not going to show him any fastballs. A nasty split down and away.
Here's Bellinger. Just looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th. Carlos Rodon is likely done. He's at 98 pitches. Bellinger fouls it off right at the plate. And the top of the A's lineup is due up. You see Rodon in the dugout. Tough to indicate whether a starter is done in this ballpark because there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, he's going to be hanging around possibly unless he makes that long walk across the field whenever he does get taken out.
Pitch. Weakly hit to the left side. Going to be a tough play for Ventura. And they'll eat it up. Bellinger is aboard with an infield hit.
There's that split. There you see Andahar, the third baseman, playing at the shortstop position. And a wise decision to eat this one.
So the Yankees have a runner at first with 2 away. Volpe at the plate. Doubled and scored his last time up in the 6th inning. Reached base twice here today. Bellinger lead off first, dancing there. Pitch is outside.
Yeah, he was thinking about going, and he just got caught in that last step.
Holman's 1-1. When you think about it, this weekend, it actually marks the first time that Anthony Volpe is playing in a AAA ballpark. He skipped right past AAA to the big leagues. I'm sure he wasn't nervous.
No, I don't think so. He probably wasn't even thinking about it.
Bellinger goes. Pitch is rocked in the air into right field. Rooker's right there. He puts it away. Yankees get a hit. They strand a runner. Time to get up and stretch here in Sacramento. 6-4 Yanks.
It's time for your Ford Studio Update. Bob and Flash with you, and Carlos Rodon did a nice job hanging around till his offense got to work in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it really reminds us of early on with Carlos Rodon, where he was throwing the ball so well but made one mistake, and that was the difference in the ball game. Today, one mistake to Brent Rooker, but 10 strikeouts to not walk a batter. Last night, the Yankees jumped out offensively. This afternoon, they had to fight back, hand it over to the bullpen. They'll take their chances.
Couple homers from the captain as well. We'll recap all of it coming up on the postgame, guys. See you then.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Flash. Take a look at the game summary. The 3-run homer by Brent Rooker did not stick, thanks in large part to the 2 solo shots from Aaron Judge. Yankees had a 5-run top of the 6th inning, and they lead it 6-4. Judge with 2 blasts. Oswald Peraza, the go-ahead 2-run homer. And here's Fernando Cruz pitching the bottom of the 7th. He'll face the top of the A's lineup.
He's been outstanding. The ERA is outstanding. A lot of splits, almost 60% of the time he's throwing that split finger fastball, 93 to 94.
This is a fun matchup right here. A contact hitter in Wilson against that splitter from Cruz.
Well, you look at the line for Rodon, the 4 runs in 6 innings. I think he did outstanding. You know, like Flash said, he made the one mistake with the slider down and in to Rooker with a 3-run homer. But that's what you love about Rodon, that he'll continue to battle. That 5th inning was a huge inning, having that ground rule double, kept Langoliers at 3rd. He pitched out of that jam and then gave you another inning.
Swinging right over the splitter. Rodon with his first double-digit strikeout performance this season.
I thought it was a big performance, and not walking a batter. That's something that he's really cut down over his last 5 starts now.
1-2. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. So Wilson doesn't strike out all that often. Goes down there against Cruz. The bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Leiter and De Los Santos worked last night. This is a well-rested crew right now.
Well, that split is absolutely filthy. That's his 30th strike in 20 innings for Fernando Cruz.
Here's Rooker. Had the 3-run homer earlier. Hey, Rodon stayed in the dugout. If you're going to go to the clubhouse, you have to make a break for it between innings.
I just don't think players want to run across the field.
No.
You're stuck. That's why you might as well go deep into the game. Work as long as you can.
Rooker sends it high in the air to left. Coming in is Dominguez. It'll drop in front of him. A 1-out single for Rooker. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam with Carlos Rodon.
This is in the 3rd inning. The only mistake that he made was a slider down and into Rooker. 3-run homer, number 10 on the year. Then he settled down. That's nasty slider. 10 strikeouts. Good lock-me-up 4-seamer inside. Pitched out of the jam in the 5th. Brilliant job going deep into the game again.
Now in line for his 5th victory of the season. 10 strikeouts today, so he'll be a spectator in the Yankee dugout. Soderstrom at the plate. We're talking about the long walks to the clubhouse. Not conducive for pitchers or for managers. We were talking about it last night. Meredith, did you talk to Aaron Boone about his, sometimes getting run and what it would look like if it happened here?
Well, obviously, there was that situation in the game yesterday where it looked like Trent Grisham should have scored a run, although it didn't happen because of where the umpires had placed the runners. It was not reviewable, and it's the line of questioning you can go with when...
Fly ball left center field. Dominguez on the run. Grisham there reaches up. He can't get it. He'll hit the wall. Big carom as Dominguez plays it in.
Rooker will stop at third. Soderstrom will stop at second. 2 on in scoring position for the A's.
It's the kind of late conversation you can have the morning after the offense puts up 10 runs on 14 hits. And I said, Aaron, in that situation, as you see Trent Grisham trying to make a play on that ball, just not possible right there as Jason Dominguez quickly makes the effort. And he said that they had actually told him before this series started, hey, if for whatever reason you were to get tossed from a game, do you want us to send a cart out so you don't have to walk across the entire field? And Aaron Boone said, yeah, send the cart. So when that was happening yesterday, he looked at his bench coach, Brad Ausmus, and said, yeah, I hope they have that cart ready.
Well, here's Langoliers, hairy part of this ball game as the A's have the tying run in scoring position here. Well, it looked like that fly ball out in left center field off the bat of Soderstrom just kept carrying it. Grisham, a heck of an outfielder, thought he had a beat on it. Wound up getting off that wall. Now the Yankees will play the infield back, give up that run for an out. It's the splitter to Langoliers, who has 2 hits today. Taking another look. It just kept going, and in the day, it seems like it's been carrying. We've seen a few home runs by the Yankees and balls getting into the gap. Langoliers sends it high to deep center field. This could get a run in. Grisham runs out of room. It is gone. Got more than 1 run in. 3-run blast by Langoliers to put the A's back in front. It's now 7-6 Athletics. Well, Soderstrom's ball carried into left center field, and that looked just like a routine fly ball that Grisham had to beat on again. You watch, this is a hanging splitter. Langoliers gets under it. He's thinking it's probably a fly ball as well. Watch Grisham, the center fielder. He's there. I got this all the way. Could be a sac fly. He gets all the way back to the wall. It's off that brick wall right next to those championship signs. We're seeing how this ballpark plays with each swing. So the A's retake the lead, ahead 7-6. Langoliers with his 8th home run, a 3-hit afternoon for him. See Tim Hill warming up for the Yankees. And Duhar hit that double in the 5th that was wedged underneath the fence. Prevented a run from scoring. He's way out in front of the splitter for strike 3. So a spotty inning here for Fernando Cruz. But he strikes Andujar out for the 2nd out, and here comes Lawrence Butler. Emerges from the Yankee dugout. They're going to have a pitching change. Yankees make a call to the bullpen. We'll be back after this. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Untuck It. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And by Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. Fernando Cruz out, Tim Hill in to face the lefty, Lawrence Butler. A's have retaken the lead, 3-run shot hit by Shea Langoliers here in the 7th against Fernando Cruz. He didn't have his best splitter today. But here it'll be Hill against the lefty Butler. Yeah, lefties 0-77 against Hill. A lot of knees and elbows coming at those left-handed hitters. And Hill pitches from the first base side of that rubber. And so it's even nastier against the lefty. And the pitch bounced up the first base line. Hill's going to
to take it himself. One pitch does the trick, but the A's retake the lead. A 3-run homer from Shea Langoliers has them up 7-6 going to the 8th. One of the most highly anticipated Subway series in years gets underway next weekend in the Bronx, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins at Friday at 5:30 with first pitch scheduled shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Well, the Yankees, if they're going to come back and win it, they're going to have to do it late here as we start the top of the 8th. They trail by 1. Max Schumann has replaced Miguel Andujar at third base for the A's after they retook the lead with a 3-run homer from Shea Langoliers. And here's Austin Wells. Tyler Ferguson into the game for the Athletics.
Ferguson, 18 innings, only given up 9 hits in those 18 innings. Mid-90s fastball, sweeper. He's got a cutter and a changeup. Wells hit a sac fly back in the 6th inning. Way inside. Tying run aboard to start the 8th. So these A's relievers who have had success before this weekend hitting a few speed bumps this afternoon against this Yankee lineup. Here's Dominguez. Walked and scored a run in the 6th. The Yankees would love to try to avoid Mason Miller in that back end of the bullpen. Their closer, 10 for 11 in saves. Did give it up his last outing, though. Dominguez holds up. Two homers last night from the left side for Dominguez, one from the right. Swings through a cutter. The 1-2. Lifted high in the air, center field. Butler tracking it, makes the catch right on the edge of the warning track for out number 1. You see Williams and Hamilton warming up in the bullpen. And you can see that when the ball's lifted high in the air and it gets above the stadium, like in that last inning, with a couple of balls off the Athletics bat, how it carries to the outfield. That ball that Dominguez hit, a little bit lower, doesn't carry as well. It's Cabrera. And a pinch hit sac fly in that 5-run 6th inning. Wind is blowing out toward right field now. See those flags right on the berm in right field, whipping out. And there is Mason Miller. Tying run on first for the Yankees. Go ahead run at the plate. 7-6 ball game, top of the 8th. Four-seamer at 96.
1-2. It's hit foul. Cabrera had a double late in last night's game, broke an 0 for 20 skid. Trying to come through here as the Yankees look for their first win and trailing after 7 innings. Again hit foul. They're 0-10 thus far. We're trailing after 7. Throw back to first. That was the second disengagement. Right back to the mound. Could be 2. Oh, it's bobbled by Wilson. Everyone's going to be safe. Well, this A's defense has not exactly shined here in 2025, but that is a pretty low throw from the pitcher.
Yeah, you throw it right at the shortstop ankles, and there's no chance of turning this a double play. Even to make a catch to get that force out. That's an easy double play and an inning-ending double play. Something you work on in spring training almost every day. You just can't make the play during the regular season.
So the Yankees will have runners at first and second with 1 out, and Ben Rice is going to come in and pinch hit for Oswald Peraza. And you see his statistics through 34 games, the .912 OPS, extremely impressive. Yankees with a chance to tie it up on one swing here. And one big swing could give them the lead again.
Well, Shaq, that might be it. Mason Miller might be coming in to get a 5-out save.
Miller has not gone more than 3 outs in a game this season. Did it 14 times last year. And he continues to get ready here in the bullpen.
Well, because of that error by the Athletics, that means Aaron Judge is going to be up at some point.
Miller coming in when we come back. Fans, the Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. It's been back and forth in Sacramento. Yankees currently trail 7-6. A chance for them to go ahead yet again late. It's going to be tough. Mason Miller, the A's fireball closer, on the mound. With 1 out in the top of the 8th, runners at first and second, looking for his first save, more than 3 outs this season, facing pitch hitter Ben Rice. And he starts him off with the slow stuff.
Yeah, he has an average fastball of 101, but he has a really good slider as well.
Wells at second, Cabrera at first.
Earned run average at 4.61. A couple outings ago, he gave up 5 runs against the Marlins in the 9th inning.
He started out 10 for 10 in saves before that last opportunity. There's 99 right at the knees. One, two. Swing and a miss on the slider. Rice goes down, 2 away.
Well, that's what makes him so tough. When you got a guy throwing 99 to about 102, you got to be ready for the fastball, and then he drops the slider on you. And it's a good one.
So here's Goldschmidt with the Yankees down 1, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Right down the middle for strike 1. Tried to paint the outside corner. Miller ready. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Slider again. Side retired. Yankees come up empty against the A's closer. All right, Nelly, it's time to name that Yankee, a former teammate of yours. You have it?
Yes, Stan Javier. That's why process of elimination. He was the switch hitter. I actually gave up a home run to him. He was either 94 or 95. I think 94 in the Kingdom. Switch hitter. Really good player. This lefty swing. I got a little sniper there. Whoops.
Stan Javier. A 10.
Did Booney get it right away?
I'm not sure. I wasn't the one who showed it to him today. We take a look at the Stan Javier resume. A big Yankee prospect. Made his debut with the team in 1984. Part of the deal that brought Rickey Henderson to the Bronx. Ian Hamilton.
He's a good outfielder. Switch hitter. Great teammate.
Hamilton working to Luis Arias. Down the right field line. Bellinger. 1 away. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Yankees. One more here in Sacramento, then straight to Seattle for a 3-game set with the Mariners beginning on Monday night. A Thursday off day, and then it is the start of the Subway Series, the Bronx edition. Juan Soto back at Yankee Stadium. And it all begins next Friday. Nick Kurtz against Ian Hamilton. It's 2-3-4 due up for the Yankees in the top of the 9th.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
Hamilton with the 0-2. Fouled right back to the net. An 0-for-3 day for Kurtz, the A's rookie first baseman. Bibas is now playing second. And a liner through the hole into right field. Base hit for Nick Kurtz.
Well, off that Schlambio right there, just hung up out over the middle of the plate. If you're Hamilton, you got one job. Try to throw up a 0 here. Just gets in that hole between first and second. Here's
is the number 9 hitter, Johnny Pereda. Tip to the backstop. And actually no tip, just a straight sail to the backstop. And Kurtz will take second base. That'll be a pass ball on Austin Wells.
That was a four-seam fastball, and it looked like it just sailed. Maybe a little cut on it.
So a chance for the A's to pad their lead here. A runner in scoring position with 1 out. Pereda 1 for 3, scored a run in the third. A's had a 4-0 lead through 3. Aaron Judge chipped away all by himself. A pair of solo home runs. One in the 4th, one in the 6th. That started a 5-run 6th for the Yankees. Oswald Peraza's 2-run homer put them ahead at the time. A's came back to take the lead in the bottom of the 7th. A 3-run homer from Shea Langoliers. Hamilton's 2-1. And again, lost in this box score is the solid job that Carlos Rodon did. Just one mistake.
Yeah, he kept him in the ball game. Really nice job.
Misses the strike zone. Ball 4. Well, today's injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Jonathan Loaisiga has allowed just 1 run over 4 rehab appearances. It spans 5 1/3 innings. He is expected to return later this month as he makes his way back from right UCL surgery.
Yeah, it'll be a good addition to that Yankee bullpen. Much needed. Another guy was swinging this stuff a while ago.
Matt Blake out to talk with Ian Hamilton.
When you try to settle him down, everything, he's really too quick to home plate, not staying back on that fastball. And also going over Wilson, who's a contact guy. He's going to probably look to go the other way. You got to be careful with that Schlambio down and away.
See Tyler Matzik, the lefty, warming up in the Yankee bullpen. One out. Pereda at first. Kurtz is at second. Wilson at the plate. Pair of hits for the impressive rookie. Hamilton not able to throw strike 1 to hitters this inning. 1-0. There's a strike.
Oh, back up. Schlambio got the call.
Pitch way outside, gets away from Wells, and it'll allow both runners to advance 90 feet. Second pitch this inning from Hamilton that has sailed to the backstop.
Yeah, that one, he just flew open. You watch that front shoulder. He really flew open, and that caused you to throw that ball way outside. Wells had no chance to try to keep that ball in front of you.
So now 2 in scoring position for a batter that puts the ball in play. Yankees bring the infield in. Pitch. 3-1 to Jacob Wilson. Hamilton ready. Pitch. Sliced foul.
Fastball inside, might have swung at ball 4. This inning, Hamilton having a hard time commanding that fastball. Go with that Schlambio here on a 3-2 count.
Payoff pitch. It is low for ball 4. And the bases are loaded as Wilson picks up his 7th walk of the season. This is a player that gets on base, but not with those free passes. He does here. And Brent Rooker will come in with the bags full.
I would imagine the Yankee infield goes back. It's a good double play candidate. You got to watch for Rooker. He may sit on that first pitch Schlambio since the fastball command has not been there for Hamilton.
Can Hamilton battle through and get through this frame unscathed? 7-6 A's lead, threatening with the backs full and 1 out for Rooker. And again, it's outside for ball 1.
Yeah, right now not staying closed, not keeping that front shoulder closed. He really flies open. Just yanks every fastball on the outside half to righties.
20th pitch for Hamilton on its way. And it's hit foul. Rooker hit his 10th home run of the year back in the 3rd. Has 2 hits on the day. He's hit 49 home runs since the start of last season. Pitch. A's trying to break this thing open. Kurtz is at 3rd, Pareda at 2nd, Wilson at 1st. Only 1 has earned a hit. 2-1. Gets a strike at the knees. So now will we throw it 2-2?
I would go slider at Schlambio down and away. Rooker has a tendency to swing at that pitch. You might be able to expand the zone on him.
Let's see what he does on 2-2. Swing and a miss. There's the slider and a big strikeout for Ian Hamilton. 2 away.
Well, his best pitch in this inning, and that's going to be it for him, but he needed it. That's Schlambio down and away, and Rooker tends to swing at that pitch. You can expand the zone. That's exactly what the Yankees did. Big out.
Well, Hamilton loads him up, but gets a big strikeout there. New pitcher coming in when we come back. Fans after the final out get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. New pitcher on the mound, it is Tyler Matzik. The lefty has thrown 2 consecutive scoreless appearances. He pitches here at the bases full. The A's trying to pad their lead here in the bottom of the 8th. And the lefty Tyler Soderstrom comes up with the bases full. Kurtz at 3rd. Pareda at 2nd. Over at 1st is Jacob Wilson. Pareda and Wilson walked against Ian Hamilton. Lefty on lefty as Matzik gets ready to throw his first pitch. And it's rocked on the ground past the dive of Cabrera into left field. It'll be a base hit. Scoring is Kurtz. Pareda comes in to score as well. It's a 2-run single for Tyler Soderstrom, and the A's increase their lead here in the 8th. It's now 9-6.
Now you come in with men on base. A lot of times hitters will look dead red at first pitch, and that's what he got. First pitch fastball. He just goes the other way. There you see where Cabrera was playing Soderstrom to pull. That gets right by him. That's going to score 2.
So a big hit for Soderstrom and a 3-run ball game. And here's Langoliers, who gave the A's the lead in the 7th with a 3-run homer. Big day for Langoliers.
to center. Grisham on the run, reaches up, it's over his head, and it goes off the wall. Scoring is Wilson. Soderstrom getting the wave around. Here comes the throw home. It'll be late. Another two-run base hit for the A's. Shea Langoliers with a two-run double. And it's the A's 11 and the Yankees 6 as the A's have blown it open.
Passes a fastball, and it's just a line shot. There you see Grisham. He turns to his left and then has to hustle to readjust. It gets over his head. It's just a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Fourth hit of the day for Langoliers, 5 RBIs. Here's Max Schumann.
A lot of times when you come in as a reliever and you're coming in with men on base, you always have to be careful. Not saying you can't throw a first pitch fastball, but where to locate it. Most hitters come up, and when they see a reliever, they're looking dead red, especially early. And Matzik has a real good breaking ball. He throws a fastball slider. Even though the fastball's in the mid-90s, you still have to locate it well.
Tied him up with the heater. A season-high 11 runs allowed here this afternoon by the Yankees. They've been hurt by the long ball. Just making mistakes with runners on. A's have hit a pair of 3-run homers. And 6 runs right there. Langoliers has driven in 5. Got foul.
There's a few things as a reliever that you always have to be aware when you come in to face hitters. When they're men on base, you always have to know that they're always looking dead red. You know, hitters always look fastball. They'll give you that first pitch breaking ball. Even pinch hitters, when you have a pinch hitter coming in to face you, again, they're coming off the bench cold. They're looking dead red. They'll give you that first pitch breaking ball.
Full count. Pretty wise move. If you're up by 5 here, you don't have to continue to use Miller. Perhaps save him for tomorrow. Two pitch. Swing and a miss. 8th inning comes to a close, but the A's increase their lead. They take a 5-run cushion to the 9th. Time for the Audi Electric Moments. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Well, this is in the 4th inning. First pitch fastball off the Sears, number 13, and then another fastball in the 6th. Halfway up the batter's eye. 2-home run day for Aaron Judge, number 13 and 14 on the year.
So it's the top of the 9th. A's scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Mason Miller comes back out. So a pretty wise move from Mark Kotze to bring him in with 1 out to get in the top of the 8th inning. Faces Trent Grisham here. You like this move, leaving him in here facing the heart of the lineup for them to get another look at him?
I do, because nothing's guaranteed here. I mean, he's one of your best closers in the game. I mean, you bring him in. Yes, he did an outstanding move. Kotze did to bring him in, get him the Athletics out of that jam in the 8th. This is a safe situation. He's your closer. You're taking a save away if you take him out of the ball game.
Grisham hitless in 4 at bats. Aaron Judge waits on deck. High drive, center field and pretty deep. Butler on the run, on the warning track. He reaches up and he can't get it. It's off the wall. Grisham speeding around second. He's going to head into third with a leadoff triple. Well, the Yankees have a lot of work to do here in the top of the 9th. But Grisham starts him off with a 3-bagger here in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, you just get the ball up in the air and over top of the stadium, and this ball just kept drifting and carrying to center field. Trent Grisham's really had a field day in the outfield, a lot of it because of the park. He's a great center fielder. And there you see Butler just drifting back, and that ball carries over his head.
So here's Judge with a runner on third. 2 homers today. And Miller starts him off with a slider.
You can understand visiting teams having a little bit more difficulty in the outfield, but when you're a home team, you got to realize how these fly balls are playing, and you can't drift back the balls in this park. You got to get back to the wall.
Miller quickly ahead, 0-2 on Judge, who is 0 for 3 against Miller with a strikeout in his career. 0-2. Rolled on the ground to short. This will score a run. Wilson throws to first for the out. Grisham comes in to score, and it's an 11-7 ball game. Here's Bellinger. Base is empty. You know, just judging the movement from some pretty good defenders, especially out in the outfield, it's getting clearer and clearer. This is a tough park to play in the outfield.
We talked a little bit about that yesterday when the wind, how it swirls, and now it's all of a sudden blowing a little bit out to left center or right center field to the center field.
1-2 on Bellinger.
And once it gets hotter, it'll get triple digits in the summertime, and even when they play night games, it's still going to get out and carry and probably wreak havoc on some visiting teams. A little surprised that the home team is not playing the balls in the air very well.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Bellinger. Has a pair of hits today. And the pitch. Chase the fastball at 1-0-1. And the Yankees are down to their final out.
I think anything, if you take away in this game, is the outfield play. And tomorrow you got to realize another day game, that anything in the air that could be hit deep, you got to get back to the wall as quick as possible and almost run into it and play it that way.
Well, 2 outs. Here's Volpe. First pitch is upstairs. Made the mistake earlier saying that Volpe didn't play a game at AAA. Overlooked the 22 games he played with Scranton in 2022. He's trying to keep the Yankees alive here. And now we're seeing nothing but gas for Mason Miller. Foul, and the Yankees are down to their final strike. And the Yankees giving the lead away late. A's have scored 7 unanswered runs up until a few moments ago. Pitch is upstairs. That one at 1-0-2. This will be his 25th pitch. Upstairs. So the Yankees are making him work. You wonder if it impacts his usage for tomorrow.
Well, 5-out save.
Three-two. Swing and a miss. Strike three. That's the ball game. Yankees give away the lead late, and they fall here in Sacramento. 11-7 the final. They'll play the rubber game tomorrow against the A's. We'll be back to wrap it up after this on Yes on the Gotham Sports app.
Time now for the Cadillac drives of the game.
Well, Langoliers, what a day he had. This was in the third inning, a base hit right back up the middle off Rodon. Again, another base hit in the fifth. And then the big 3-run homer in the seventh. Number 8 on the year just kept carrying. And then a big double, 2-run double, 2 RBIs. That was in the 8th inning. Just gets over the head of Grisham. 4 for 5, 5 RBIs, including that big home run.
Langoliers with a big day offsets the 2 home runs from Aaron Judge. 40th career multi-hit game. Grant Holman gets the win. Fernando Cruz takes the loss. Mason Miller earns his 11th save of the season. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the W.B. Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees wrap up this series in Sacramento. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock on Yes. First pitch coming up shortly after 4 o'clock. Once again, the final score: the Athletics 11 and the New York Yankees 7. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Justin Shackle. Now, let's go to Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty, who are standing by with the postgame show.
Hey everybody, it's great to have you with us on the W.B. Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty with you. Middle game of this 3-game series, and the A's win it 11-7. Kind of a twist of fate for the A's, because last night was 14 hits, 10 runs for the Yanks. Today, 14 hits, 11 runs for the A's. Bullpen couldn't get the job done and trying to close out a Yankees lead. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, that's the story of the game for me, Bob, is the bullpen. When you have a 2-run lead and 9 outs to go, and the Yankees are very proud of their bullpen, they would feel like this is a game that they have to close up and pick up the second victory in this series. Obviously, that did not happen. Cruz maybe made one bad pitch with a split-finger fastball. Hamilton was all over the place. Matzik comes in and throws some fastballs down the middle. Yankees gave up 11 runs in this game. That is a season high for runs allowed. Tough to win ball games when you give up 11.
Let's take a look at the game highlights, show you exactly what unfolded in West Sacramento. Game 2 of the series. Highlights brought to you by your local Ford stores. And it was 1-0 A's. We talked about this start for Rodon. Didn't want that one bad pitch, and he got it here.
He's been so good lately, and he's been staying away from the one swing of the bat. Well, he couldn't hear a slider to Rooker. That's going to be his 10th home run of the year. A 3-run shot that makes it 4-0 early.
All right, so 4-0 lead against Rodon. He's going to be treading water the rest of the way as far as his job goes. Meantime, he lets his offense go to work. Top of the 4th, Aaron Judge up. Fastball from J.P. Sears. Hammers it out to right center. And gone. A solo shot. Number 13 on the year for the captain. Makes it a 4-1 game. And 2 innings later, Judge is back up there.
Yeah, Aaron Judge spoke to the media last night and said, I can't wait to get back out tomorrow. It's a great place to hit. And he backed it up. The 6th inning, it's going to be Sterner out on the mound. That's a fastball down the middle. And Aaron Judge absolutely demolishes this for his 2nd home run of the game. 433 feet. And it's only a 2-run ball game at that point.
Yanks right back in it. Then after a Bellinger walk, Anthony Volpe comes up. And with Sterner on the mound, going to hit one into the gap for a double. Bellinger is going to make his way to third. And the tying run is in scoring position. Yankees in a good spot with Austin Wells coming to bat.
Yeah, just situational hitting right here, trying to chip away at this lead. Fastball up, drives it the other way. That's going to be Soderstrom in left field. He makes the catch. Bellinger scores easily. 4-3 Athletics.
And for the Yanks, finally in this game, passing the baton once they got into the bullpen. Volpe got to third on a wild pitch. Dominguez walked. And that set up Oswaldo Cabrera. Another fastball from Sterner. Another fly ball to left. It's Volpe on third. He's going to tag and score. No throw home. And that ties the game up. And then next batter is Oswald Peraza.
Yeah, batting ninth in the lineup. You don't know what his future is going to be with DJ LeMahieu coming back soon. Well, he leaves an impression, a hanging slider. He drills it off of the foul pole, and the Yankees take a 6-4 lead coming all the way back.
Putting up a 5 spot in that 6th inning. That's the point where you got to hang on to that lead, but they weren't able to do it. It's our turning point of the game, brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. They go to Fernando Cruz, and he didn't get a lot of help from his defense here, Flash. He's got Brent Rooker at the plate. He's going to throw him a splitter, but watch what happens with Dominguez in left.
Yeah, it's a big swing. Dominguez kind of gets caught flat-footed, and then very passively, Bob, just kind of gives up on it and says, okay, that's going to be a single for Rooker, and let's see what happens.
And Tyler Soderstrom right here goes gap in left center. What's going on with Grisham?
Yeah, Grisham, a great outfielder, but he was just kind of cruising after it, and I think it surprised him how well that ball was traveling to left center field. Couple of plays in the outfield that you thought maybe should have been made.
So tying runs now in scoring position. Then up comes Shea Langoliers. Goes to the splitter one more time, and this one just kept flying.
Yeah, it was a bad splitter, first of all, but, you know, Langoliers had a big day, and he drove this ball, and you could see it just kept carrying, and probably the biggest swing of the ball game for the Oakland A's.
Just like that, they lead it 7-6. Half inning later, Mason Miller coming on to face Ben Rice with 2 runners on. So Mark Kotze leaning on his big closer for a 5-out save. He gets Rice there on a nasty breaking ball for the 2nd out. And then Paul Goldschmidt next, a 1-2 count. Another breaking ball. A's escape that 8th onto the bottom of the 8th. And Tyler Matzik comes in with the bases loaded.
Yeah, Soderstrom just goes the other way, slaps it past Cabrera. A couple of runners are going to score huge insurance runs for the A's in the 8th inning.
That was after Hamilton had walked a couple batters, and then Langoliers next, and he's going to wrap up what was a terrific day for him. Just hammers that one to center and over the head of Trent Grisham. 2 more runs come in to score. It's a 5-run lead. It's all part of a 4-run bottom of the 8th that helped put this one to bed for the Athletics as they go on to win it by a final count of 11-7. Field coverage brought to you by Liberty Mutual. Judge has 2 home runs, his 41st multi-homer game, 4th most in franchise history. The Yankees 5 runs in the top of the 6th, 9th time this season that's happened, 2nd most in the majors to the Cubs. And Fernando Cruz, 3 earned runs in the bottom of the 7th. He had allowed 3 earned runs in the first 19 2/3 runs this season. So everybody out of the pen. Cruz, again, didn't get a little bit of defensive help, but then Hamilton and Matzik had their problems.
Yeah, Hamilton was erratic, right? Didn't have any feel for his fastball, his 2-seamer, his slider, change-up combination. And then Matzik comes in, and we don't know him very well as a New York Yankee. We do know that he has a plus fastball, and he's proud of it. And he kind of came in there and tried to establish it, and the Oakland A's were ready for this. The story of the ball game, Yankees bullpen not having a great afternoon, and you have to talk about the ballpark, Bob. It's the same for both clubs. Aaron Judge took advantage of it, driving a couple of home runs. But on the flip side, Yankees had trouble in the outfield, either picking up the ball off the bat or being fooled by how far the ball was traveling. Obviously, an advantage for the Oakland A's, for the Sacramento A's now. But even their center fielder, Butler, had trouble late in the game. So I think everybody trying to figure out the ballpark this afternoon, and it had the outfielders confused.
Or as they will tell you, we're just the Athletics.
Okay, that's how we need to leave it at that.
We'll take a break. We got more coming up here on the WB Mason postgame. We're going to hear from the manager, Aaron Boone. His guys were behind. They battled to get a lead and put Rodon in a spot for a win, but ultimately fall 11-7. We'll hear from the manager coming up.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Host Gracie Cashman sits down with Anthony Volpe on the premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery this Wednesday, following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Game 2 in West Sacramento in the books, and the A's rallied to win at 11-7. They scored 3 in the 7th and 4 more in the 8th against the Yankees bullpen. to win this one. Rodon and Sears ultimately don't factor in. Shea Langoliers did 4 for 5 with 5 runs batted in, and Aaron Judge had a pair of home runs. Let's hear from the manager, Aaron Boone, in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, your bullpen late is typically very good and has been throughout the course of this season. Gave up 7 unanswered runs late. Just with Cruz, what were you seeing from him in particular?
The wind really picking up is what I saw. Rooker breaks his bat and dumps the one in short left there. And then it looks like, Grish had a beat on Soderstrom's ball, and it just kind of kept carrying to the wall. And then Langoliers, hanging splitter, but, still felt like kind of a fly ball in the center that just kind of took off. So, but that was the pitch. You probably want back a little bit. That splitter just hung up for him a little bit, and then they, obviously added on late.
When the wind's kind of carrying balls, just how difficult is that as an outfielder to try to get a jump on a ball and try to execute in those situations?
Yeah, it looked like it was a challenge because it wasn't all day. It picked up, so it looked like there were a couple balls that kind of confused Grish a little bit with just kind of just being different throughout the course of the game, and especially in that inning. So, tough one, obviously.
You're kind of touching on it, but is it really hard to evaluate pitchers here when the ball is traveling like that?
Tough. I don't know. I haven't experienced this enough, so I'm sure as the summer builds up and the heat builds up, PCL's known for that. So I don't know. I'd be speaking out of turn to know if I knew how this place is going to play throughout. Today it was a little different throughout, I thought.
Along the same lines, Rodon works 6 innings, strikes out 10, but hurt by the long ball. Overall, how do you evaluate him?
Yeah, I thought really good. I made the mistake to Rooker, and Rooker punished it. It looked like a slider that just stayed right there. But around that, excellent. Just more really, really good and dominant stuff, 10 strikeouts. And to just kind of keep his head down and keep us right there and give us 6 innings and put us in a position to win a game, just another really good one from him.
Time for us, it was a pretty big hit there. What have you thought about what he's given you so far?
Yeah, I really think, obviously he hasn't played a ton, but I feel like his at-bats have really improved from the start of the season to now. I feel like he's having much more competitive at-bats. I feel like he's controlling the zone a little bit. Obviously a big hit for him there at the time and for us. And I think he's been excellent on defense. Wherever you put him, he's very capable out there. And so he's done a good job.
He's been a pretty good base runner since he's been here, getting thrown out at third, trying to tag on the ball to left. Was that an ill-advised try?
Yeah, we're going to challenge Soderstrom a little bit, and it's a little different. Like, obviously, you don't want to make third out at third typically, but you are bringing a second runner with you. You're bringing a runner from first into scoring position as well, and the play's right in front of Anthony. So as he started, I think he kind of read the throw. It was right on target, so, not what we want there, but with a second runner coming up and as instinctive as he is typically out there, those things are going to happen when you're trying to make an aggressive play.
Is Yarbrough definitely starting tomorrow?
We'll talk about it. He'll be in play in a big way, I'm sure, and could be starting.
So note to any team coming into Sacramento to play the A's, watch what happened in today's ballgame. If you have an afternoon game, and Luis Severino pointed this out to Meredith Marakovitz about the wind, about the heat. It is inland in California, kind of like convection oven in the afternoon with the winds blowing, and it's kind of hard, you could tell, for the outfielders to get a read on some of those balls.
Yeah, and you can imagine, and Aaron Boone talked about this, as it heats up during the summer, it's probably only going to get worse. But, I go back to Trent Grisham, and we've watched him now for a couple of years. He's an excellent outfielder, and today he was having some problems in center field with some of the reads. You could see on this one, not a great route. I don't know if he thought it was going to travel more. He tried to make up some ground, wasn't able to do it. This is that broken bat that Aaron Boone was talking about. Dominguez got kind of caught, flat-footed and then tried to make up some ground and passively just kind of gave up on it. We'll take another look at it here, and you can see he gets caught flat, maybe takes a half a step back, and then just says, okay, I'm going to concede the base hit. And then from there, things get kind of crazy with Grisham in center field. And this ball right here, you can see Trent, he's cruising. And when we see him cruising like that, he's usually camped underneath it, makes it look easy. That ball just took off and got away from him. So I think the Yankees defensively in the outfield, you learn your lesson today that you better be on top of your game and maybe be more aggressively trying to get to a spot deep in the ballpark or play a little bit deeper, because the ball was flying today. Yeah. You would expect the same conditions tomorrow and the same results.
Same game time tomorrow, no doubt about it. And how about this, too? It is a minor league ballpark. You wonder if the sound off the bat and the look of it has a different look and sound. It seemed like, for example, Dominguez and then Grisham thought it was a little different, and then suddenly it changed on.
That definitely could be part of it, and it's also during day games, even in major league stadiums, you'll hear outfielders say, I couldn't pick up the ball off of the bat because of the crowd behind home plate. A bright day in Sacramento, so you wonder if the reads off the bat weren't great because of the sound, the contact, or maybe the brightness of the fans sitting behind. Whatever it was a nightmare for the outfielders today, and you think that they're going to learn their lesson tomorrow and maybe play a little bit deeper and just play a little bit more aggressively trying to get to the spot. Don't get caught drifting, because you're going to be embarrassed.
We'll see how that plays on Sunday. Meantime, we'll step aside here on the WB Mason postgame. We're going to hear from Carlos Rodon about this one. Again, gave up 4 runs and a big home run, but struck out 10 and didn't walk any. Rodon is coming up next.
Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Let's take a look at Carlos Rodon outing today in West Sacramento. Pitching decisions presented by Sage, and he got off to a good start. Bottom of the first, facing Brent Rooker.
Yeah, the dangerous Brent Rooker, and you're always paying attention. What pitch is it going to be early? Well, it was a changeup, but you can see Bobby yanked that changeup down and in. Not really the location he wanted.
Second inning gets Miguel Andujar leading off, chasing a really good slider, but with 2 outs, facing Urias, he gets an outside fastball and takes it out the other way.
It's off the plate, it's up, but I don't think anybody expected this to be a home run down the right field line. Urias had good numbers against Rodon coming in and cashes in with that solo shot.
More good results in the bottom half of the third. Johnny Pareda leads off the inning. 2-2 slider through the 6 hole for the base hit. So he leads off with a hit. Then Jacob Wilson, as they flip the lineup up to the top, is going to lay down a nice bunt.
Yeah, it's a perfect bunt, and you're wondering if maybe Peraza would have been better off letting that go to see if it would have rolled foul. He didn't. It's going to be a bunt base hit.
And then Brent Rooker turning on the 1-0 slider, no doubt about it. That one big swing, Rooker's 10th of the season, as the A's take a 4-0 lead. But from there, he settled down a little bit. Runner on first, 2 outs, Andujar. Fastball into center. Grisham going to lay out. But that one's going to hurt because Grisham couldn't get to it.
Yeah, couldn't come up with it. Bellinger is going to chase it down, but they actually sent the runner back, and then Rodon bounces back, getting Butler to wave at a slider down and away.
Lawrence Butler at the dish now, unable to hold up on a slider. That's Pareda, bottom of the 6th, as Rodon freezes him on the inside fastball. So 10th and final strikeout of the afternoon. 7 of those strikeouts coming on his big money pitch today, which was the slider. A's went 2 for 13 against that. They did get to the 4-seamer a bit, 4 for 10 with 2 doubles and a home run. Let's hear from Rodon about his outing in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Carlos, you went 6, kept the team in the game, season high 10 strikeouts. Did get hurt a little bit by the long ball there. When you look at this one as a whole, just how do you look at it?
All right, just keep the team in the game, and offensively, I thought we swung the bat great, and I tried to keep the game close. They had some good swings, and then once again, offensively, like I said, we showed up and got ahead and in the top of the 6th there, and so I thought we swung the bat well, and just unfortunately we couldn't hold on, and as a group we needed to throw the ball better, including myself. So
You did have swing and miss stuff today. You've had it all year long. What do you think made you so effective when it came to that today?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple pitches I want back. Obviously, the slider to a Rooker down and then was supposed to be away, so it's just a missed spot. And I'll live with the fastball to Urias away, 2 balls off. But it's just part of the gig when the ball's 2 balls out of the zone. He hits it well, and is what it is. You know, I thought Austin was great. He called a great game, and I was just rolling with him. And you know, he's been on it the whole year for me. So I think that's part of the reason why.
Is that a head scratcher for you when that does happen? Because it does seem like that's a theme this season. That it's like
baseball. It's just baseball, man. I mean, these guys are good. They're good hitters. They get paid too. So.
What do you think of the way the ball was flying today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely hitter friendly, but you know, everybody has to play in this park, so it's part of it.
Surprise you, or you kind of?
Not really. I mean, there's no, you know, you account for the wind, and there's not many buildings around to knock down, or you know, not a big built-up stadium, so the wind plays a big factor, especially you know during the day, and you know that's what makes the game interesting. So.
How shocked were you when the Urias ball went over?
I knew he hit it well, so you know, obviously I wasn't happy that it went over, but you know, good swing. Happens.
Do you try to change anything you do when you know that's the case and that's kind of how this ballpark plays?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get a lot more ground balls if that's the case, but, you know, try to get them on the ground and then keep the ball down the zone and hope for them to hit the ball at the defense and make outs.
Seeing Judge continue to hit pretty much any ballpark you go to, what's that like?
Not surprising. I mean, it was the 2 homers today, 1 to center, 1 to right center. Once again, putting out great swings like he always does. Really good player.
Well, once again, it's funny because the ballpark actually has a scouting report. Afternoon, wind swirl, the winds can blow out, so you could see Rodon had that in mind. In the meantime, the numbers, again, look astounding. No walks, 10 strikeouts. His last 4, he'd allowed just 2 earned runs. But today, with that 1 swing, gave up 3 and gave up 4 total.
You know, Bob, we were talking before our pregame show about the run that he has been on his last 4 starts. He's been completely dominant. If you're a starting pitcher, you want that to continue, but you don't expect it to continue. And I thought today the 4-seam fastball, and you talked about it breaking down that graphic, was not a great pitch for him. His velocity was down 93, 94. Usually he's a tick higher. So what did he do? He made an adjustment, went to more 2-seam fastballs down in the zone. The slider was still good. The changeup was good. This is one of those outings, and he mentioned it. And I love his demeanor after these games. I kept my team in the game, gave us a chance to win. And it's almost like in his mind he's saying, okay, that one's behind me. Now let's get ready for my next start. Who am I facing? What do I have to improve on? Love where his mindset is right now.
We got to take a break. More coming up here on the WB Mason postgame. Recapping this one as the A's rally to win it 11-7. More reaction. And finally, Flash and I will look ahead to Game 3 on Sunday. So stick around.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
One of the most highly anticipated Subway Series in years gets underway next weekend in the Bronx, and it all starts on Yes. Special extended pregame coverage begins Friday at 5:30, with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Good to have you back once again here on the WB Mason postgame. Yanks fall to the A's 11-7. The Yankees bullpen charged with 6 hits and 7 runs over the final 2 innings of this one, including Fernando Cruz giving up 3 runs. Let's hear from Cruz.
Fernando, did you anticipate the ball flying the way it did today?
No, not at all. But, I mean, it's the same for all of us. It's the same for the other team. It's the same for me. It's the same for my teammates. So we just have to come back tomorrow and do the same thing. Just pitch, locate it a little bit better, and that's about it.
Why do you think you weren't able to locate to Langoliers?
I think I left my split a little bit up in the zone. He went down and get it and lifted up. I thought it was a fly ball, but, I mean, it is what it is. It's the same for everybody.
How surprised were you when it actually went over?
To be honest with you, I was covering home plate. I thought it was a sacrifice fly. And I was already thinking about the next hitter to get him out and keep my team in the winning side, but it just went out.
We'll take another quick break here on the WB Mason postgame. More on today's game, and then a look ahead to Sunday when the Yanks can still get out of Sacramento by winning a series. Stick around.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. New customers get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins.
I need a crowd. I'm in my stance, time to go another round for the crowd. I cannot keep the beats. This in the game, no runner up. We ain't the same, I'm one-on-one. I move through the pain like double dutch. I'm finna unleash the beast. And I can be tame, I'm too in touch. I can be strange through the dust. Remember my name, I'm one-on-one.
Aaron Judge, your optimum player of the game. And take a look at these numbers brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. Memorable moments. Been that way all season in 39 games. Flash today, he goes 2 for 5 with 2 more home runs. And quite literally, as you look at that list, he is second to none in the major leagues to anybody.
It's amazing when you look at the graphic and you see all the major league ranks first all the way across the board, the 14 home runs, the batting average right under 400, and then you throw on top of it the damage that he has done against the Oakland A's in his career. 42 games against the A's, now 16 home runs. We talked about what a homecoming it is for him to come back to West Sacramento, only about 54 miles away from where he grew up. So he said last night that it's a great place to hit. I can't wait to get back tomorrow afternoon. Well, he did not disappoint today. A couple of home runs.
I imagine he's saying the same thing tonight. And the Yankees as well with a chance to win a series. Now today, a potential win got away from them, but with the bullpen giving up 7 runs in both the 7th and 8th innings. Let's hear from Trent Grisham, who had some problems out in center today.
How much of an adventure did you feel like the outfield was today with the way the ball was carrying?
I didn't really feel like it was an adventure. It was a tough day out there, a little wind, high sky, a little bit tough conditions, but I mean, we've played in them before. I think we got to be a little better.
Did these feel any different today? Because it seemed like both sides were just with the high sky, as you had mentioned, and the way the wind was at times kicking, that it made it difficult to kind of judge balls.
Yeah, it was definitely a little more difficult out there today. Yeah, like I said, the wind picked up a little bit late. Was doing something different at the beginning of the game as opposed to the beginning, or as opposed to later in the game. And then the sky was just tough, and then you throw in a little sun. Just made it a little bit tough out there today.
Langley's homer, you just kind of kept drifting back until you hit the wall. Just how surprised were you that actually cleared it?
I wasn't very surprised. I mean, I saw the wind change the inning before that, so we were aware of it, that it was blowing out a little bit more to center. But it was hit well, and it was hit so high that I had a pretty good feeling. I was hoping that I would be able to have a play on it.
Well, similar conditions coming up Sunday in West Sacramento. And when we come back, Flash and I will talk about the series finale between the Yanks and the A's, so stick around.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law, New York City's powerhouse firm for victims.
Take a look at Sunday series finale probables courtesy of Nissan. It's going to be former Yankee Luis Severino going up against some of his former pals against Theodore Bogart Davis on the left. It's TBD for the Yanks, but we think his pseudonym on Sunday, Flash, will be Ryan Yarbrough, the lefty who was last time out, gave up just a hit over 4 innings. He's going to factor in, we know this at some point, in some way, shape, or form, according to Darren Booth.
Yeah, we don't know if he's going to be the starter, if he's going to be the bulk guy. He's going to come in after somebody who maybe is an opener. We don't know how that's going to play out. The one thing we do know that's going to play out tomorrow is Luis Severino gets an opportunity to face his old team, the New York Yankees. And when you look at at Severino's numbers on the year, they're good. He's gotten off to a good start, but he's not the same pitcher that Yankee fans will remember from his Yankee days where it's the high-octane fastball slider combination. He's more of a guy who pitches to contact now, only 38 strikeouts in just under 50 innings, so well under a strikeout an inning. But we do know that Luis Severino will be ready tomorrow, fired up. I would not be surprised if that fastball plays up a little bit more than it has earlier this year.
A lot to look forward to on Sundays. We look forward to seeing you here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app at 3 o'clock for the batting practice show, 3:30 for the pregame, first pitch a little after 4 o'clock. Yanks ball in this one, 11-7 to the A's. They'll look to bounce back and win a series on Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you again starting at 3 o'clock. Until then, take care.